this has got to be one of the greatest college football rivalries around. And I guess what we said earlier about both teams having good kickers proved the point. The team that won the toss decided to take the win.
Now you see the Texas flag being rolled up, taken off the field. The OU Roughnecks are about to leave the field, and right straight up the middle of the stadium, you can see on one side it's all orange, on one side it's all red. The 72nd meeting between these two great universities. The series all in favor of Texas. The overall series, 42 Texas wins, 26 for Oklahoma. 3 ties. Of course, Oklahomans come right back and say, well, yes, but we've won 5 of the last 6. And last year, of course, a 6-6 tie. And somehow it seems funny. Excuse me, Jerry.
Well, Chris, that 6-6 tie, I think, has made this game even more important in the eyes of all these people, especially for Thomas Lott. And then again, remember that this is Earl Campbell's last football game against Oklahoma as a Texas Longhorn.
You know, you were talking earlier about how Thomas Lott made his first start a year ago. Well, Mark McBath has never played in a Texas-Oklahoma football game. And it's an entirely different situation. You run faster, you get hit harder. It'll be an entirely new experience.
You know, we were down in Austin Monday, and Brad Shearer told me a great comment. Said you were so tired before the, as you come off the field the first half, you can barely get up the ramp. And then as you come down again, you can hardly wait to get out. It's just that kind of game. Uwe von Schaman, you see him right there. He'll be kicking off for Oklahoma. University of Texas with all kinds of speed back deep. There you see on the far side is Alfred Jackson. On the near side will be number 26, Johnny Lamb Jones.
That's a couple of speedy youngsters.
Oh, it is indeed.
You remember last year, Chris, Texas had that kind of tricky handoff play. Well, they no longer do that. This is just a straight kickoff return.
And this Oklahoma-Texas game is underway. Von Schaman is going to kick it right out of here. Texas football, 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line.
You'll notice Earl Campbell will always be the last one to the backfield. He takes his time like Jim Brown used to get to that huddle.
Now they strike up the eyes of Texas. The band missed their cue. Take a look at the Sooner defense. Reggie Kinlaw, 74, Phil Tabor. There was a question about him this week. He hurt his knee in practice, but he's out there ready to go. Dave Hudgens, 70, along the front line of Oklahoma. And here come the Longhorns. We'll set the offensive backfield for you in a moment. Mark McBath, 17, the quarterback. They'll start from the I. Earl Campbell, fullback. Ham Jones, the I-back. The pitch to Campbell, number 20. Out of bounds at the 22-yard line. Run out of there by number 26. Barry Bergen, number 28, George Cumbie, and there's Earl Campbell.
And again, you'll see how slow he is. Texas usually waited till late in the first quarter.
There you see the starting backfield. Mark McBath, the quarterback, number 17, starting his first Oklahoma-Texas game. Ham Jones, a healthy Ham Jones, a healthy Earl Campbell, and the great speedster, the Olympic gold medal winner, Lamb Jones, Johnny Lamb Jones at the flanker. Mish is in now for Jackson as a split in. Texas, again, the I formation. 2nd and 8. This is Campbell. He wants to throw. Hit. Intercepted by Dave Hudgens of Oklahoma to 15. Back to 14. Oklahoma football. David Hudgens, number 70. Intercepted the Earl Campbell passes. Steve Ross, Earl was hit just as he tried to throw it.
They've been practicing that for quite a while this year, Chris, and Johnny Lamb Jones was open. Here we have it. They've never used it before. Johnny Lamb Jones is open, but Reggie Mathis gets to Earl before he can really cock his arm and throw.
So the Sooners have the first big break in this football game. Oklahoma 1st and 10 at the Texas 13. Handoff goes to David Overstreet, starting in place of the injured Billy Sims. Overstreet, a freshman out of Big Sandy, Texas, will set that Oklahoma offensive backfield for you. Steve McMichael made the tackle for Texas. This Texas defensive unit, the first unit, of course, Steve, has not been scored on.
Well, but it's also a very young one, Chris. There's only 2 seniors, Brad Shearer and Morgan Copeland, starting, and so it's really untested.
Lott, the quarterback, Peacock, Overstreet, the halfbacks, Kenny King at fullback. King is number 30. Oh, Oklahoma jumps across there, and it's going to be Sam Claflin, the right tackle, who made the big move first. Oklahoma had a 2nd and 9 at the 12, so it'll cost the Sooners 5. And, Jerry, mistakes like that seem to happen in this ball game.
Well, this is the first time for Sammy Jack to play in this football game, and I know he's a little bit on the nervous side, and of course that's going to happen to somebody the first time they play in this ball game. You cannot imagine. You know, you were talking a minute ago about the ramp and how you have trouble walking up it at the half. Well, let me tell you, they say that's the most famous ramp in the world, and these football players to walk into this stadium is just awesome.
It is 2nd and 14, Oklahoma. The ball at the 17-yard line. Kenny King loses the football. There's a scramble for it at the 15. Texas says they have it. They do. Longhorns football. Free safety Johnny Johnson, number 27, made the recovery. There you see 99 Steve McMichael, who made the hit on him coming off the field. McMichael the hit. Credit the fumble recovery to Johnny Johnson. And Texas fights right back and stops Oklahoma.
So 2 turnarounds, 1 for each team, and we're right back just about where we started right after the opening kickoff, Chris. That's one of the problems that Oklahoma's had this year. They've had some problems in holding on to the football. And now we'll see what happens if Texas lines up.
Alfred Jackson splits to the bottom of the screen. Lamb Jones is up the top, out of your picture now as McBath turns, looks to split backfield behind him. Hands off, and with the handoff is Cam Jones, number 25, hit by nose guard Reggie Kinlaw, 62.
Watch Reggie Kinlaw. He'll make a lot of unassisted tackles all by himself from that nose guard spot. This is a very interesting young man. About 3 weeks ago, they told him that he was hurt, that they were going to operate on his knee, and he said, no, sir, you're not going to cut my knee open again. I'm going to play football for the University of Oklahoma. Watch him today.
Jackson this time up to the top of the screen. Lamb Jones at the bottom. McBath, 2nd down, 9, Texas from the 15-yard line. Earl Campbell, short yardage there. 62 again, Reggie Kinlaw, 85, linebacker Darrell Hunt combined to make the tackle.
You know, Chris, earlier in the week, Coach Akers expressed concern because of his offensive line, which has a few new people in it, really hadn't been tested by a quick, aggressive, big defense. Running against Virginia is one thing. Running against Oklahoma is quite another, as Texas is finding out.
Well, we have had a pass interception. It was intercepted by Oklahoma. A fumble recovery, that by Texas. And it's all been inside the Texas 20-yard line so far. 13 minutes left in opening quarter. 3rd down, 8, Texas. The ball on the 16. The Horns need to get to the 24 for the first down. Mark McBath, quarterback. On the option, handoff, and just short of the first down, Cam Jones, who just burst over the right side. Darrell Hunt, 85, the linebacker. Zach Henderson, 19, Barry Berger, 26 on the tackles. Texas just short of the first down, Steve.
And again, it's a punting situation, and Coach Akers also expressed concern about that because Russell Erschlagen did have a punt blocked earlier this year.
Well, he has not had to punt many times with that great Texas offense. He's back there now inside his 10-yard line. Deep for Oklahoma, number 11. You saw him there, Freddie Nixon. Good snap, no rush by Oklahoma, and Erschlagen kicks short, drilling kick. Nixon has it on the run at the 50 to the 46-yard line. Nixon caught it on the run, returned it about 7 yards, and Oklahoma starts its 2nd possession again in Texas territory.
I don't believe Russell really got his foot into that one. It was kind of a low squibbler, and then Freddie Nixon took it on the dead run.
There's timeout on the field. The score, Oklahoma nothing, Texas nothing.
The Chrysler Styling Center.
Oklahoma with their 2nd possession of the game at the Texas 46. 78 degrees at the Cotton Bowl. Wind north-northeast, 10 to 20. Oklahoma has the wind at its back now. Thomas Lott to the 40-yard line. Picks up 6 yards. Tackle by Ricky Churchman, number 8, strong safety for Texas. Part of the crowd here at the Cotton Bowl. And once again, as every year it seems, a sellout crowd. It has been held in Dallas here at the Cotton Bowl since 1929, been a fixture of the great Texas State Fair that is now underway. Lott, the Oklahoma quarterback, 2nd down, 4 Sooners. We have yet to have a first down in this game. We do now. Kenny King across to the Texas 34, first down, Oklahoma. Johnny Johnson, 27. Ricky Churchman, number 8, tackled for the University of Texas. And Kenny King, who's had some shoulder problems, looks like he may be bothered a bit again. He hurt his shoulder against Kansas, and Jerry, look at the way he's holding his arm there. Yeah, he's going out.
They've had to take Kenny out on during the first part of the last 2 or 3 games, and it'll be Vicky Ray Anderson, a young junior, and he's a super good fullback.
Oklahoma wishbone, 1st and 10. Handoff, 2nd man, David Overstreet. Big Sandy, Texas. Steve McMichael, number 99, makes the tackle.
Chris, the basic alignment for Texas defense is the same as it has been in the past. It's a little more aggressive. You'll see the linebackers move a little bit more, and the defensive backs rush up very quickly.
Really no gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Oklahoma football, Texas 34-yard line. Steve Rhodes split to the bottom of the screen. Lott in trouble. Down he goes. Great defensive play. Big side linebacker Mark Martinoni, 6 foot 210 sophomore out of Kennedy, Texas.
I think that Elvis Peacock slipped down. He was supposed to take out a number 42. Mark, say it for me.
Martinoni.
Okay. He slipped down, and Martinoni came right over the top of him, and also Tommy Lott tripped on Elvis Peacock.
1 of 3 Texas linebackers, and they're good ones. It is 3rd down 12. Oklahoma now at the 36. They need to get to the Texas 24 for the first down. Lott, the quarterback. He will not make it. Down at the 30-yard line, Ricky Churchman, number 8, Brad Shears, 77. Combined to make the tackle for Texas.
Brad is one of the few seniors on the defense, and he's one of those players who has his big games against the big teams. He seems to get especially up for Oklahoma, A&M, Texas Tech.
It is 4th down and 6. The ball at the 30, and here is Uwe von Schamann. He'll put his tee down on the 36-yard line. But Hebert will hold. Von Schamann to attempt a 46-yard field goal. It's got the distance. It's good. Oklahoma takes the lead. A 46-yard field goal by Uwe von Schamann. And Oklahoma jumps out in front of Texas 3-0. 9 minutes, 28 seconds left in the first quarter here at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. Some of the Oklahoma cheerleaders on the sidelines. But again, that first-string Texas defense does not give up a touchdown, Steve.
They haven't yet. They've shown, as I said, the more aggressiveness this year. For instance, 3 linebackers, they'll tell you. Lance Taylor has a chance to be a superstar, but as a group, they're a very balanced, very aggressive group.
Von Schamann will kick off for Oklahoma after the field goal. High, in over end, and out of the field to play. Over the end zone, there you see Johnny Lamb-Jones, number 26, who's waiting to get his hands on the football, but it's tough when Von Schamann has that kind of wind advantage. So Texas, once again, will start at its own 20-yard line, and certainly in the first quarter, the early going, Texas has had no kind of field position at all. We've got a flag down here, and we may come back to try to kick this one over. I'm sure Texas would like to have them kick it again.
They certainly would, because they've had the ball inside their 20 now the entire first quarter every time they've had the ball. And, they'd like to see Johnny Lamb or Alfred get some running room.
I don't really think that's going to make a whole lot of difference, because the wind is at von Schamann's back, and of course von Schamann and Erxleben both have the ability to kick it through the uprights. The Oklahoma scoring drive, 60 yards on 6 plays, and then a field goal by Uwe von Schamann. The Sooners lead it 9:28 left on the clock in the first quarter. The Sooners lead it by a score of 3-0. Chris?
So von Schamann takes it back to the 35-yard line, and will kick off from there. At the top of the screen, number 2, Alfred Jackson. Bottom of the screen, number 26, Olympic sprinter Johnny Lamb-Jones. Von Schamann kicks it off.
This one will be run back.
He'll get a chance here. Johnny Lamb-Jones to 10 and knocked off his feet at the 12-yard line. Tony Antone, number 8, the sophomore out of Lawton Eisenhower. 6'2", 188 pounds, and it really hit him.
Here's the replay on it, and Johnny Lamb-Jones is very hard to bring down in the open field. This is a great tackle. That's one way to stop him, is to clip him down.
Well, Texas again with very poor field position. The Longhorns 1st and 10. The football at the Horns' own 13-yard line. They have not been across their own 30 yet in the first quarter. Their backfield behind Mark McBath. Jones and Campbell. McBath keeps it himself. He'll get short yardage. One of the Oklahoma players leaves with the football, but they will mark McBath down.
Mark McBath is on down, yes.
And he is down.
Mark is a sophomore from Corpus Christi King. He's the better runner of the two, or their option.
George Cumbie, 28, was one of them over there to make the hit for Oklahoma. And Mark McBath, you see right there, the fine young Texas quarterback.
Looks like it might be a knee.
Has an 8.4-yard rushing average, has thrown for 3 touchdowns, and he is going to be helped off the field. And boy, there's a
big blow. Fortunately, John Arnie has played quite a bit this year. He's the better passer of the two. He has a howitzer for a right arm. He and Alfred Jackson, as a matter of fact, set a school record with an 88-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah, what a thrill for John Arnie. He's playing in his hometown, Dallas, Texas, sophomore. Second, 6, Texas at their own 17-yard line. Handoff goes to Earl Campbell, gets short yardage there. Phil Tabor, 74, along with Darrell Hunt, 85, make the tackle on Campbell. Oklahoma, Jerry, has had great success in containing, if one can do that, Earl Campbell in the 3 times he's played against the Sooners.
This is not, I think perhaps this might be Earl's most favorite game of all that he plays, but it has not been his most successful over the past 3 years. I know he would like to change that today.
Out of the game was Alfred Jackson has split in. Steve Hall has come in. Double tight end for Texas now as they put Lamb Jones out as a flanker to the top of the screen. Arnie, run-through football, knocked down, and is going to be very close to a first down for Texas. That was 3rd down at about 3. George Cumbie, 28, on the stop for Oklahoma. And the official wants to take a look at it. They'll bring the sticks in for a measurement. It'll either be first down Texas or 4th down and very short yardage.
You mentioned Steve Hall coming in, Chris. He's the only Oklahoman on the Texas squad.
Oh, just inches short. No, sir, this is no time to gamble this early.
Especially against the wind.
So the Oklahoma defense holds Texas just short on that 3rd down play.
He missed it by about 6 inches, Chris. Earl Campbell looked longingly over at Fred Akers and held 2 fingers up and said, I think he was kind of thinking in his mind, oh, come on, Coach, let us go for it.
No way, not this early, not on your own 23-yard line. Oklahoma 3, Texas nothing. 8 minutes, 15 seconds left in the first quarter here at the Cotton Bowl. Russell Erxleben, 4th down and 1. Back inside his own 10-yard line to kick. Deep for Oklahoma's a good shot there of Russell Erxleben, the nation's #1 punter last year. There's Freddie Nixon, number 11 for Oklahoma, the lone man in deep punt return formation for the Sooners. Against the wind, high, lazy kick. Nixon, fair catch, takes it right at the Oklahoma 38-yard line. And that's where the Sooners will start, 1st and 10.
That was a 40-yard punt.
A 40-yard punt by Russell Erxleben, and before Oklahoma starts, there's a timeout on the field with a score, Oklahoma 3 and Texas nothing.
Tuesday, your Austin AGB people present the beautiful...
Bath went down. He has just been helped out of the Cotton Bowl. I doubt if he'll be back today.
And there he goes. And, of course, behind John Arnie are 3 freshmen who have played very, very little.
9 out of 19 passing, 152 yards. You see McFast's stats as Oklahoma goes to work. Hand off to Kenny King, number 30, the fullback. Maybe gets a yard. Tough Texas defense. Steve McMichael, 99. Lance Taylor, middle linebacker, right there to make the hit. And you can see already what the Texas folks are talking about, Steve. It does seem a much more aggressive Texas defense.
Especially Lance Taylor. He's just a sophomore from El Paso, and they feel that he can be one of the really super linebackers, maybe All-American before he's 30.
Tim Campbell has come out, 86, a defensive end. Dwight Jefferson is in to replace him for Texas. Oklahoma 2nd and 9 at its own 39. Thomas Locke hands off, and Elvis Peacock gets 1, maybe 2, and that's all. 99 again, Steve McMichael. He's everywhere.
Boy, he's having a good day.
Just a sophomore out of Fair, Texas, 6'2", 231 pounds.
Nickname of Bam Bam.
I can see why after those last 2 plays. 3rd down, 7, Oklahoma. This is how you like to get the wishbone. Put him at 3rd and long yardage, and you really have an advantage. The wishbone really relies a lot on that first down play for big yardage, then they can kind of finesse you. Steve Rhodes will come to the bottom of the screen, Oklahoma's only split receiver. Victor Hicks tight in at the top of the screen. Oklahoma needs 7 on 3rd down. Kenny King across to the 45, but short of a first down. And Oklahoma will be forced to punt it away. Kenny King was stopped by Mark Martinoni along with Brad Scherer. And the big cheer goes up to the Texas side as the Longhorn defense has stopped the Sooners at 4th down and 2 on the 46-yard line. Deep for Texas.
Johnny Johnson's the deep man.
Johnson, who's 2nd leading punt return in the country, makes the catch at the 10-yard line. Fakes a few guys to the 15 to the 20. Here he goes. 25, 30, 35, 40. Monshellen missed it. Midfield, 40, 30, The 20.
He stepped out of bounds.
He stepped out of bounds.
He stepped out of bounds.
All the way, but again, the official upfield marked that it stepped out of bounds back at about the Oklahoma 43-yard line. We'll take another look at it. And again, one of the top returners in college football, Johnny Johnson, amazingly decided to make the catch with great pressure. And watch these moves.
You know, Raymond Claiborne was a great punt returner for Texas. He's now with New England. But the coaches will tell you that Johnson gets off to a quicker start. He may not have the speed, but he got enough for a 44 on the 44-yard line.
That's where he stepped out of bounds, and a good call.
And Von Schamann was the only man between him and about a 93 or 97 or 98-yard touchdown run, and Von Schamann just barely got a hand on him, and it caused him to swerve just a little bit. But I'll tell you what, I think that's fairly obvious about the moves and the speed that Johnny Lamb's got.
44 yards on the kick, 37 yards on that return by Johnny Johnson. And yes, you're right, Texas has speed everywhere. 1st and 10, Longhorns, great field position for the Horns now. At their own 48-yard line, John Ani, the quarterback, to Earl Campbell. Runs over a couple Sooners, still on his feet. Look at him go.
Look at him go. Oh. That is the Earl Campbell of old.
I'll tell you, the field just isn't quite wide enough today for Texas. They said he stepped out.
They're going to call him down, though, back at the 46. Let's see if he is. Makes a nice move to the outside. Good shot. Yeah, I think yep. And his knee went down.
Boy, that is some kind of effort. Earl Campbell, #1 in the nation in scoring, averaging 14 points a game. 7th in the nation in rushing, 124.7 yards a game. Man in motion for Texas, 2nd down and 12. And a bust. Ani had to turn the other way, and there was nobody there. And Oklahoma swarms on it. Bruce Tate, #5 on John Ani, #10. The young quarterback might have come out the wrong way because there was nobody there but white shirts.
You know, Akers talked about how both Ani and McBath have played, but McBath has worked with the first string more than Ani, and it looked like John went one way and everybody else went the other that time.
Texas will lose 4 on the play. Make it 3rd down now and 14 for the Longhorns. The ball at the Texas 44-yard line. Good shot there of the Texas huddle. Texas, of course, in the burnt orange. They are the home team today. Oklahoma in the road white. Ani, split flanker, back for the first Texas pass as far as the quarterback. Ani wants to run now at the 45, at midfield. First down, Texas at the 45, to the 40. Knocked bounds of the Oklahoma 38, and the flag goes down. 2 flags.
They're going to call a clip on Texas on that. I'm afraid it was either Earl or Johnny Lamb clipping an Oklahoma player on about the 38-yard line.
Bud Hebert, #33, finally made the tackle, and John Ani, who's advertised as the passing quarterback, makes a great run, but flipping against Texas, and the penalty is going to hurt the Horns.
That's really got to be demoralizing for the Texas Longhorns. They had Johnny Lamb on a super run back off that punt, and then he stepped out of bounds. Earl Campbell went down, just barely touched the knee, and now on a pretty good run by quarterback John Ani. They get a clip, and you know, there's one play can make a difference in a football game. And I think the momentum kind of shifted a little bit there to the Texas Longhorns, and now they perhaps Oklahoma may have it back after a play like that.
Make a correction, 3rd down and 9 it should be. Penalty marked from the spot of the foul, but instead of a 1st and 10 inside the Oklahoma 40, the Horns have a 3rd and 9. They need the Oklahoma 43. Ani throws for it. It is intercepted by Oklahoma at the 45, midfield. Bud Hebert made the interception as it deflected off the intended Texas receiver, Johnny Lamb Jones, and it was intercepted by Bud Hebert. We'll take a timeout now with the score, Oklahoma 3 and Texas nothing.
This is Ray Kroc, founder of McDonald's, a man who had a dream 23 years ago.
I have worked for Mr. Kroc 20 years. Mr. Kroc certainly cares for the American family.
He saw a need for a place you could go with your kids at a price you could afford.
People are the most important thing to Ray Kroc. I don't think there's any bigger supporter of the American way of life.
This week is Ray Kroc's 75th birthday. We'd like you to help celebrate on Sunday.
This has thrown the ball twice today, and both have been intercepted. That one deflected off Johnny Lamb Jones, intercepted by Bud Hebert, returned 17 yards, and Oklahoma has it, 1st and 10 at the Texas 47. Thomas Lott slips and falls down after a gain of 80 yards. They say a flag is down. Texas thought they had the football. Standing up with it is Dwight Jefferson, number 80. And the officials also had a flag down. So we'll have a discussion here. Texas wants the football.
Well, evidently the penalties against Oklahoma were the Texas players cheering.
Offensive holding. That'll cost the Sooners 15, and they'll march back down. 72,032 capacity for the 32nd consecutive year at the Cotton Bowl. And Steve and Jerry, it looks like both teams right now are kind of showing that nervousness, and we'll take a look at the interception.
Now,
earlier.
John Oney is the much harder thrower than Mark McBath, and you'll see this ball. It's very catchable, but it goes right off of Johnny Lamb Jones's hands. McBath throws that floater. Oney tends to jump it in, and there's the interception. Fine run back.
Bud Heber tripped on Daryl Hunt's foot and went down. There wasn't, I don't think he could have gone all the way. I'd like to make an apology to Johnny Johnson. I call him Johnny Lamb John.
That's a compliment with that kind of speed. Elvis Peacock gets the handoff for the Sooners on a 1st and 25. And Oklahoma gets again just short yardage. Steve McMichael, 99. Mark Martinoni, 42, weak side linebacker.
Jerry with Johnny Johnson, Jimmy Johnson, Johnny Ham Jones, and Johnny Lamb Jones. It is perfectly understandable.
As a look at the Sooner offensive huddle, Steve Roach, 24, Lott, number 6, steps into the huddle now. Here come the Sooners. 2nd down, 20, Oklahoma at their own 42-yard line after the holding penalty. Lott makes the pitch. Overstreet hurdles a man at midfield and is out of bounds at the 50-yard line. David Overstreet, the freshman. Johnny Johnson, the free safety, 27. Knocked him out of bounds. David Overstreet, freshman out of Big Sandy, Texas. We'll take a look at it.
Watch now as the fake goes to Sims, and then Overstreet takes the pitch out here, and he will try to leap. He's apparently been watching Billy Sims, but he goes out of bounds right at the 50-yard line. Barry Switzer does not like his players to do that. And of course, we've been teasing him about the fact that maybe he's been sending his players over to the gymnastic coach for some lessons.
3rd down and 12, Oklahoma. Steve Rhodes put down at the bottom of the screen. Thomas Lott's going to throw. Pumps once, throws for Rhodes, and way over his head at the 5-yard line. Rhodes was behind Johnny Johnson, the free safety, and Ricky Churchman, number 8, the strong safety, but the ball was well overthrown. Incomplete, and Oklahoma will punt it back to Texas on 4th down and 12. 3:34 left here in the first quarter. It is Oklahoma 3 and Texas nothing. Johnny Johnson, there's your friend, Rick. Back there at single safety. Glenn Blackwood is the up man for Texas. Look at Ubervon Shaman, and he'll punt with the wind at his back. High end over end, they're going to let it bounce. High hop at the 5 into the end zone, and once again, Texas will start 1st and 10 at its own 20-yard line.
I'm not sure, but I don't think Texas has a first down yet, do they?
We'll check with the our staff group here. 50 yards on the punt line of Shaman. Texas have a first down yet? No, they do not. 1st and 10, Texas at the 20-yard line. Again, if you just joined us, Mark McBath, starting quarterback for Texas, went out with looked like some sort of leg injury. He has been taken to the dressing room. John Oney is now in a quarterback for the Longhorns. The only scoring, a 46-yard field goal by Ubervon Shaman of Oklahoma. Oklahoma 3, Texas nothing. 3:26 to play in the first quarter. Here's Texas, I formation. Oney, Earl Campbell, sweep right. Touch in the backfield is going to be caught for a loss. Great penetration by the Sooner defense, 85. On the tackle was Daryl Hunt, linebacker. Barry Burger, 26, the defensive end, got in there early, though, and messed up the timing on the play. Loss on the play of a yard, 2nd and 11 at the 19-yard line for Texas.
Darrell Ray slowed him up a little bit, and that gave Barry Burgett and Daryl Hunt a chance to get in and make the tackle on that play, Chris.
Texas from its own 19-yard line. Earl Campbell has carried 5 times for a total of 3 yards in the game so far. Pitch, again it is Campbell, sweep left, has some blockers this time. Runs over a man at the 25 and the 26. Earl Campbell's best game. Daryl Hunt, 85, was the man who made the tackle, along with Zach Henderson, 19. Take a look at the outstanding Oklahoma linebacker, Daryl Hunt.
Daryl Hunt's going to move over this way, and watch Zach Henderson will slow Earl Campbell up just a little bit, and Daryl Hunt will come in to make the stop. Hunt from Odessa, Texas, and the junior.
I tell you, Texas got some more problems. That is their quarterback, their second quarterback.
Oh, boy.
John Ani is down. And, Steve, who would that bring in? We don't even have him on the chart.
I'll tell you what, there are 3 freshmen, Sam Ansley, Sanford Coggins, and one of those 2 I think would be to come in. I would assume Sam Ansley, but I'm not sure.
Oh, boy, it looked like almost the same injury.
Yeah, Mark McBath was to his left leg. This is John Ani's right. And we'll see who Coach Akers is talking to down there.
Number 6.
Randy McEachern, the red shirt.
I don't believe that perhaps John Ani is injured as seriously as Mark McBath. He is able to walk over to the bench now, so it looks like we may see him again this afternoon.
Randy McEachern will be the new quarterback for Texas. He is 173 pounds, 5'11", a senior squad man last year from Pasadena. Hand off, and in the backfield, Phil Tabor of Oklahoma stops Jones. Johnny hands Jones 25. As soon as he got the handoff, 74, Phil Tabor was right in his face. And Texas will have to punt. The roar goes up for Oklahoma's defense. It's 4th and 9.
Chris, Daryl Hunt pulled one of the rare Oklahoma blitzes on that coming in from his right side linebacker position, and that's got to be a frightening thing for a brand new freshman quarterback in a game like this.
Well, Randy's a senior squad man. He's had a lot of knee problems. He had a lot of potential and has had, I think, at least 2 knee operations.
Eric Slavens' punt's going to be fielded, taken down on one knee by Zach Henderson at the Oklahoma 44-yard line as the sun comes out of it now. Go overcast in Dallas to start the football game. And it'll be Oklahoma's football, 1st and 10. A minute 40 left in the first quarter. That punt, 33 yards by Eric Slavens.
And I'll make my second apology of probably many that I'll make today to the senior who I called a freshman.
I tell you, it looks like we're looking at one of our replays, Steve. You're looking now at the Texas bench at the same spot, almost the same huddle. Around now, John Ani, and they're taking a look at his right leg, it looks like, as Oklahoma has it. 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Handoff goes to Kenny King, the fullback. He goes nowhere. Steve McMichael, number 99, right tackle, makes a stop for Texas. Logan Copeland, strong side linebacker. Kenny King, number 30. King has not had the big impressive statistics of a year ago for the Sooners so far. Well, both teams have had a tough time running today. 2nd down and 9. Oklahoma football at the Sooners' own 46. Road split to the top of the screen. Rock can't pitch it. Great defensive play by Dwight Jefferson, 6'2", 226-pound junior from San Antonio, Texas.
And he is a second-string player because he's in right now for Tim Campbell. But obviously, Texas has depth at defensive end.
Oh, they do indeed, and he made an excellent play there. It's going to be for Oklahoma now. A loss on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 12. 40 seconds, clock running left in the first quarter. Keep in mind, Oklahoma has to get to the Texas 41 for a 1st down. Handoff on the reverse to Overstreet. He can't go anywhere. In the backfield is strong safety Ricky Churchman. And Dwight Jefferson, again, number 80, also ruined the timing on the play. And the Texas defense stalls Oklahoma. The Sooners will have to punt, and they're in a hurry to do it to try to get the wind advantage. And now Oklahoma, to make sure they get the wind advantage, has taken a timeout here. 21 seconds left to play in the first quarter. It is Oklahoma 3, Texas nothing. The Sooners have called their first timeout just to make sure that they had that wind advantage. And Jerry?
Steve, I'll tell you what, I don't think I've seen a fired-up Texas defense like that in a long time.
I think you can put part of that to youth. There's an awful lot of those fellows out there who are playing in their first Oklahoma-Texas game. And
incidentally, they had John Ani up and walking around without assistance. He was not limping. However, they put him back down on the bench after he walked around for a couple of minutes. And they're still gathered around him, making a diagnosis as to what the situation is. I think that perhaps we have a pretty good chance of seeing John Ani come back in the ball game.
You know, they talk about football being a game of emotion. I think that's probably why both defenses are playing so well, because in defense you can let your emotions carry you.
Oklahoma has to punt 4th and 14. Von Schaman has plenty of time. Phil kicks a beauty. High spiral, bounces the Texas 5 into the end zone, and what a punt. Ayuba Von Schaman, with the wind at his back, he kicked that 55 yards. Texas Again, 1st and 10 from its 20-yard line, but 12 seconds left to play in the first quarter. And with all that has happened wrong for Texas in this first quarter, Steve, with injuries, with 2 passes being intercepted, with field position, they're very fortunate probably that it's just 3-0 Oklahoma.
And I think they're also very fortunate that their young players haven't had a touchdown or 2 scored on them to get discouraged with all this happening.
Bob Chava's statistics, you see punting, 36-yard average. He's improving on that right now for Oklahoma. McEachern, the 3rd Texas quarterback in the football game. Split backs behind him. Option. The senior is caught. Gets away from a couple Sooners. Now is dropped down back at the 18-yard line. He'll lose a couple. Daryl Hunt, the linebacker. And I'll tell you, Jerry, there's no doubt about it. The Sooners are really coming after him, testing this young, inexperienced quarterback.
Well, I think they're going to have to make their play at this point, because I've been watching on the sidelines, and I've been watching John Awney as he's been running and ready to go back, I think, perhaps in just a second into the football game. And I think that may be what we're getting ready to see right now.
That's the end of the first quarter with the score, Oklahoma 3, Texas 0.
When you started out, you had a dream, you had to show that a man working hard could really make a business grow. The dream has grown through the years and still going strong, and it took capital to help you write your song.
Building a big business can be rough, but a strong bank like Capital National can help smooth things out over the long haul.
People around here like their milk fresh. That's why they prefer Superior Dairy's milk. Fresh from nearby Central Texas dairy farms. Superior homogenized milk. Less non-fat milk. And the new Sweet A low-fat milk. All fresher to you from the only dairy in town. Whichever you choose, enjoy quality. Fresh from Superior Dairies. Naturally.
Ready to start the second quarter. We're at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas. It is Oklahoma 3, Texas 0. This is the first play of the second quarter. Randy McEachern is the 3rd Texas quarterback. Has it 2nd 11 for the Horns at their own 19. Campbell, Jones behind him. Darrell Campbell gets the handoff and goes into a handful of Sooners. 85, Daryl Hunt. 28, George Cumbie, as the 2 Oklahoma linebackers were there, along with defensive end number 26, Barry Bergen. There's no question about the effect. The Oklahoma fans know it as well as any. And look, coming back on the field right now, number 10, John Awney has rejoined the Texas huddle. And there's a big boost, Steve. We just started talking about the effect of losing your quarterback.
Really, and again, Awney is the better passer, and with the wind behind them now, maybe not in this series, but the next series, you might see Texas try to loosen up.
It is 3rd down and 10, and Awney is straight back to pass for Texas. He falls straight down.
That's his knee. That's his knee again.
That's gone. He was back. Nobody touched him. He just went down. Let's take a look at it in slow motion again. Here's John Awney, Steve, as he comes right straight back.
He just goes like a fallen oak. Too much strain on that knee, I think. Yep. And I doubt if he'll be back.
Well, what a courageous young man. I know the coaches probably wondered about it, and he said, I want to go out and try it again. And fans from both sides standing up now and applauding. Being taken off the field, sophomore John Awney, 6'1", 195-pounder, played his high school football right here in Dallas, Texas.
Of course, you have to be worried if you're Fred Akers about this game, but you have Arkansas, a very important conference game coming up next week. 2 quarterbacks hurt.
So the way Russell Erxleben in his own end zone here in the north end of the Cotton Bowl. 4th and 19, Texas. Good snap, big rush is on, but Erxleben booms a beautiful high spiral. Nixon watches it bounce to the 25, picks it up at the 19. Nixon loses it, gets it back to the 25, and down he goes. Bruce Schultz, number 51, reserve linebacker, also Robert Sedline, a reserve linebacker, 51 and 60 respectively, made the tackles. This punt went 70 yards. There you see Freddie Nixon takes it on the hop and does that Oklahoma fumble routine, Jerry.
Well, I'm telling you what, there's nobody around him, nobody 5 yards from him, and it just gets away from him. But Freddie's fumbled a couple, and so he's being very aware of the situation right at the moment.
Sooners football, 1st and 10, Oklahoma at their own 25-yard line, leading 3-0 early in the second quarter. Elvis Peacock nowhere, absolutely nowhere, and there again is Steve McMichael, number 99, the defensive tackle.
Steve has come on very strong since the start of fall practice and has been getting better every week, and obviously he's having one of his best games ever. There goes John Awney into the Texas dressing room.
John Awney is being helped on the sidelines, and he will join Mark McBath, Texas #1 quarterback, in the dressing room, and both of them probably through for the day. Lott, oh, he goes the wrong way now. Busted play for Oklahoma. Lott slips, almost falls, gets back up and goes to about the 28-yard line for maybe 3 or 4 on the play. Glenn Blackwood, right cornerback, 37, made the stop.
Chris, this is one reason why Barry Switzer is so high on Tommy Lott. There goes John Awney into the dressing room and making the walk that he hoped that he would never make, and that's that walk up to the ramp to join teammate Mark McBath in the dressing room. Back to you, Rick.
3rd down and 6 at the 29-yard line. Fake to Kenny King. Lott has it, dives for it, and is short of the first down. Ricky Churchman, number 8, made the stop for Texas. Also Martinoni, 42 in there, and Texas is held. Oklahoma will have to punt.
Well, this has been a defensive game, hasn't it?
And coming in, I think really most experts, like maybe call ourselves experts, Steve, thought it would be a high-scoring game. Why wouldn't you, with the #1 offensive team in the country in Texas on the field, and Oklahoma ready to score points, but it hadn't been that way. Von Schauman's punt into the wind is going to be thrown dead at the 40-yard line. And that's where Texas will start 1st and 10 at its own 40-yard line. There's a break in the action with the score. Oklahoma 3, Texas nothing. Oklahoma 3, Texas nothing. 12-10 left in the first half. Texas with the football at their own 40-yard line. This time they sent Jackson and Jones up to the top of the screen, but Jones is a wide slot. Randy McEachern, the 3rd Texas quarterback, calling the signals for the Longhorns. Keeps it himself, goes around the corner at the 46-yard line.
That was a fine run by Randy, and Randy has played quite a bit this year, but obviously in a mop-up situation when the game was out of hand. As we said, he's had knee problems, and this is his first real action at Texas under the intense conditions of a game like this.
McEachern picks up 7. It's 2nd down and 3. Football on the 42-yard line. We'll try to update you on first quarter statistics here in a moment. 11:38 to play here in the first half. 2nd and 3, Texas. They need to cross midfield for the first down. Campbell has a first down, Texas, at the Oklahoma 48. That is the first down.
That's their first down.
Davis cut at 74. You'll watch the block here on
a nice
replay.
And then Earl cuts back. Tough run.
Jack Henderson, 19, made the stop on the play.
That's Texas' first down.
Football at the Oklahoma 48-yard line. I believe also really the first time in Oklahoma territory. They were there, but a penalty set him back on a play. So Texas headed towards the Oklahoma goal line. 1st and 10 at the Sooner 48. Catcher wants to throw under heavy pressure. Looking for Jones. It is overthrown.
He was
well covered by Terry Peters, number 16. And I'll tell you, that ball looked like it was 15 yards overthrown, and Johnny Lamb Jones almost caught up to it.
He caught a touchdown pass last week that Mark McBath threw that got away from him, and he again had to run under it about 15 yards, and then he got there fast enough to where he had to wait to catch it.
He has caught 4 passes this year for 103 yards, but of the 4 he's caught, 2 of them have been for touchdowns.
You know, I think one part about McEachern being in is that perhaps it isn't the triple option anymore. I'm not so sure they'll have the true triple option with pitches.
Well, Oklahoma's faced with the same thing with Dean Blevins and Jay Jefferson, and of not letting the quarterback read the defense. 2nd down, 10, Texas. Catcher. Oh, George Cumby, 28. Struck him right there at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. 10:45, clock running left to play. And let's look at this defensive play by George Cumby, 28 of Oklahoma. Right there.
Cumby just comes in and he wraps him up and rolls him down. This is where the inexperience of the quarterback is going to hurt Texas right now.
Johnny Lamb Jones has come out on 3rd down and 8. That brings Mike Lockett in as a flanker. He goes to the top of the screen. Alfred Jackson to the bottom of the screen. 3rd and 8, Texas at the 46. They need the Oklahoma 38 for the first down. McEachern wide open, just underthrown. Wide open was the tight end, Gil Harris, number 82, out inside the Oklahoma 30-yard line. Darrell Ray, number 3, was, I guess, closest to him, but I'll tell you, Steve, he was wide open.
He was wide open, and Russell Erxleben is in. We're going to see a field goal attempt. It will be 64 yards.
And nobody's going to make any fun of this. They know he can do it. The young man holds the NCAA record of 67 yards. Now Oklahoma has stopped the clock here. They've had some problems. They're trying to get their other unit back on the field.
It's probably just as well for Texas because Texas only had 10 men on the field. Gil Harris ran off the field after missing that pass and then came back.
Russell Erxleben, you know, you hear about a 67-yard field goal that distance, you automatically think it's a soccer-style kicker. He's one of the few, really, with great success as a conventional kicker.
There's his punts today. As we said, he's also an excellent punter. He, as a matter of fact, is 5 out of 7 this year from field goals, and at least 3 of them are from 50 yards or more. He has 12 in his career from 48 yards or more, and his 27 field goals is the career record for Texas, and he's just a junior.
As we watched him warm up today, he was putting him from 50, 55, and 60 yards very easily with just a 3-step approach.
Well, it is at the Texas 46-yard line, which means it is a 64-yard field goal attempt. Wind that is back. Erxleben kicks it up. End over end, and it is good. Holy smoke. 64 yards by Russell Erxleben. Listen to the crowd. Unbelievable. 64-yard field goal after a 67-yard field goal. And knowing Russell Erxleben, Steve, he's probably upset that it wasn't 68, so he did get a new record.
You know, I'm thinking about getting out of sportscasting and becoming his agent in a year.
Oh, wouldn't that be something? The pros love him.
You'll notice it's a half-inch tee. Now, some kickers will use 2-inch tees, but Russell uses the half-inch, so when he does turn pro, it'll be just a little adjustment for him.
Oh, he almost knocked himself out. Look at that follow-through. 64-yard field goal. We are all tied at 3-3 because of that man right there in a super field goal. Russell Erxleben kicks it through. It's a tie game with 10:05 left in the first half here at the Cotton Bowl.
You know, he knew what he wanted to do for a long time. As a youngster in Seguin, he was a winner of the local punt, pass, and kick contest.
You know, Barry Switzer has said that Russell Erxleben is without a doubt the finest field goal kicker in America. He said that he will probably go as perhaps the #1 draft pick in next year's NFL draft.
Erxleben kicks it off. You might as well buy a seat and watch that. It hits the upright and bounces back on the field. And so Oklahoma will start 1st and 10 at its own 20-yard line. And so far, it has been the kicking game and defense. Turnovers have played a part. Oklahoma fumbled the ball inside the Texas 20. Texas had 2 passes intercepted. And yet we are tied at 3-3 with 10:05 to play in the first half.
There is one other significant stat that is well worth noting. Oklahoma's had to use 2 timeouts. They have 1 left. Texas has all 3.
Thomas Lott to Kenny King, the fullback, and he almost broke it. Tripped up at the 26-yard line. Lance Taylor, 32, middle linebacker. Morgan Copeland, the strong side linebacker, 38, just got a hand on Kenny King, who has just unbelievable speed when he breaks in the open.
You've got to be quick to be a fullback when you play for Barry Switzer, and he's got super good speed, and he can bull straight ahead. He can make the cuts. Kenny King is a great fullback.
Bobby Kimball, split receiver, out of the picture at the top of the screen. Thomas Lott takes the hand up to the fullback, hits behind the line of scrimmage, and run down there by Texas. Ricky Trishman, number 8, and Dwight Jefferson, number 80.
What a game Dwight Jefferson is having.
It's a fantastic game for someone who has not started this year, but both defenses are playing such aggressive football today. That's just a solid hit until you get help to put him down.
And I got to wonder about Tim Campbell. I really haven't seen him much. It has been
haven't seen
Dwight Jefferson, so we might take a look on the Texas sideline and see what's the matter with Tim Campbell. 3rd and 5, Oklahoma. Overstreet lowers his head and gets across the 30, out to the 33. And I'll tell you, if he hadn't wrapped up the ball and been looking just maybe to get 1 or 2, he might have broken that, Jerry.
I believe you're exactly right. The young David Overstreet, he's a freshman, and he's one of the most highly talented young men to play football. They come up to Oklahoma and play football, and they're really high on this fine young man. And I agree with you. I think he could have gone all the way. The hole was there. He just had his head down, was trying for a first down.
First down, Oklahoma at their own 32-yard line. Hand off Kenny King. Short yardage there. Yard or two on the play. Morgan Copeland, strong side linebacker, 38. Brad Shear, 77, makes the tackle. Maybe Oklahoma's decided they'll try the other side now for a while, Steve.
Except that's where Dwight Jefferson is.
That's right. 8:27 left here in the first half. Oklahoma, Texas tied 3-3 here at the Cotton Bowl. Steve Rhodes, top of the screen. Out of your picture now is a split receiver. Oklahoma. He's down on second down. Kenny King, the fullback. It's just 2 or 3. And that Texas defense is playing tough. Lance Taylor, 32. Linebacker, Steve McMichael, number 99, sophomore to Career Texas. Lance Taylor, also a sophomore. A very young Texas defense.
Very young. Brad Shear and Morgan Copeland, the only seniors. Obviously, very aggressive one today.
Bobby Kimball goes out of the picture, top of the screen for Oklahoma. Third down and 8 Sooners, the 34. They need the 42 for the first down. Hand off Overstreet on the play that got the first down a moment ago, but he won't this time. Short yardage, 3, maybe 4 yards. Tackles on the play. Ricky Churchman, number 8. Number 42, Mark Martinoni, and the chair goes up for the Texas defense.
Here we go again. So you'll see safety Johnny Johnson coming up. Oklahoma's playing somewhat conservatively this early in the going. But Ricky Churchman, Martinoni, Johnny Johnson, there are 6 orange shirts around there.
Todd Shaman kicks it off. High punt, bounces Texas 30. Good Oklahoma roll inside the 25. Still rolling down to the 23-yard line. And that's where Texas will get it. First down and 10. 40-yard punt, and most of that was because of a good roll.
You know, of course, with Texas down to their third-string quarterback, they have offensive problems. Watching Oklahoma, you just almost hold your breath on every play with that speed.
They have a timeout on the field now, and the score is Oklahoma 3, Texas 3.
Just before we go back to live action, punch for Oklahoma, 5, 44.2. Texas, 4 for 41.5. Chris?
Longhorns first and 10 at their 23-yard line. Quarterback, Hitchard keeps it. Short yardage on the play. Gets just a couple up to the 25-yard line.
I've got to imagine that Fred Akers, every time McEachin carries the ball, holds his breath and hopes he gets up.
I think McEachin's holding his breath, too.
Darrell Hunt, George Cumby, the 2 Oklahoma linebackers. But, Steve, look at some of these statistics in the going so far.
Total yards rushing for Oklahoma, 58, 22 for Texas. Earl Campbell, 16 yards on 8 carries.
And we have not had a pass completed today. 2 passes intercepted by Oklahoma. Jeff Batson, an offensive guard now for Texas. A replacement on the front line for the Longhorns. 2nd and 8, 25-yard line. Fumble for, scramble for it. I think Texas is on it back at their own 20 as they had some problems getting out of the under center there.
McEachin fumbled it, and then he was about 4 or 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Watching, it just gets away from him. He can't find a handle on it. Instead of trying to pick it up and make something out of it, he just went ahead and fell right on the ball, which is what he should have done. And that way you got the ball and chalk that one up to a little experience, a little bit more confidence in yourself, and let's try it one more time, guys.
Again, we have not had a pass completed today. 3rd down, 13.
We've had some completed, but to the wrong guys.
Ben Sooner shirts taking Texas passes. Alfred Jackson to the top of the screen. Johnny Lamb Jones to the bottom of the screen now. Kittredge from his own 20-yard line. Keep in mind, Texas needs the 33 for the first down. A whistle sounds, and they gave away a great play there on the flanker reverse to Johnny Lamb Jones. We've seen a lot on film this week, but delay of the game, and oh, you hate that just when a play's starting to develop.
I don't know whether if that is whose fault that is. The Texas coaches on the sideline have hand signals to give the quarterback the call. Now maybe McEachin, not being used to being in, took time finding out exactly what play was to be run.
Mike Lockett, the flanker, comes in and places Johnny Lamb Jones. I'm sure Texas will try that play later in the game. 5:33 left first half. We are tied at 3-3, Oklahoma, Texas. 3rd and 17 now for the Horns. McEachin just hands up the middle. Earl Campbell runs into one, over one, and finally falls down after a short gain. George Cumby, Reggie Kinlaw makes the tackle, and it's going to be a punting situation for Texas. It has turned into some kind of kicking game. The kicks have made the difference on the scoreboard. A 46-yard field goal for Oklahoma and Von Schaven, and a 64-yard field goal by Russell Erxleben of Texas. 3-3. Erxleben, deep punt formation. Wind at his back. High.
Another one.
Beautiful spiral. Freddie Nixon takes it, goes right out of bounds at the 27-yard line for Oklahoma.
That's about a 54-yarder.
Oh, that's a beauty. Freddie Nixon, you see there, returning to the Sooner bench. 49-yard punt.
You know, guys, so many times the coaches will say to you that, you know, when you talk to them the week before any football game, they say, well, a kicking game is really going to make a lot of difference. And you kind of really just pass it by an awful lot. But I'll tell you what, this is one of the games where the kicking game really does make an awful lot of difference. And look at last year, a 6-6 tie.
I don't know if either team has put together more than one first down in the drive yet. Thomas Lott makes the wild pitch. It goes to Overstreet. Gets is out of bounds at about the 33-yard line. David Overstreet took that pitch. Morgan Copeland, the strong side linebacker, chased him out of bounds. And again, you hold your breath when you watch this, Jerry.
Now watch Tommy Lott, and he gets caught and pitches over the guy's head, and David Overstreet, and there's only one man that can save the play, and that's Morgan Copeland. He pushed him out of bounds right there.
That Thomas Lott has one of the softest touches on pitch outside, and the split-second timing is fantastic.
Gain of 6 on the play. 2nd and 4, Oklahoma. Football, the Sooner 33-yard line. Hand off. Overstreet has a big hole to 40 on the split at the 45. First down, Oklahoma at the 47. Tackled by number 8, Ricky Churchman, the strong safety.
And again, it was a situation where he could have gone an awful long way, even perhaps for a touchdown. Pick up a 14 yards on that play, and the one guy that could save the play, and that one, Ricky Churchman, and he made a good tackle to save a touchdown for Oklahoma.
David Overstreet, the fine freshman, has carried the ball 7 times for 47 yards.
1st and 10, Oklahoma at their own 47. Kenny King at midfield, just across to the Texas 49-yard line as the Oklahoma offense is starting to move now. Steve McMichael made the tackle, the defensive right tackle. Good shot there, Kenny King. Herndon, Texas. Lee Hover just came in to join the Oklahoma huddle. Number 9 out is Steve Roach, 24. Hover goes to top of the screen, out of your picture now. Oklahoma wishbone at the Texas 49, 2nd and 6. Lott keeps, makes the pitch, it goes out of bounds back at the 49-yard line, and Lott took quite a shot there, and Thomas is a little slow getting up. Mark Martinoni, the linebacker, made the hit, and Thomas Lott is down.
He's not going to get up. He is not going to get up.
Thomas Lott is down on the field. Texas has lost 2 quarterbacks today with injuries. Thomas Lott is down, his helmet is off, and we'll take a break here as the stop of the action with the score. Oklahoma 3 and Texas 3.
What does American Ingenuity give you?
A special banking department, exclusively for women.
American Ingenuity, it gives me the Young Americans Club.
No.
He's up on his feet, he's on the sidelines, and I'm sure we'll see him back in. Dean Lemons is now the quarterback for Oklahoma. 5'11", 187-pound senior from Norman. Hands off to Kenny King over the 50, down to about the 47-yard line of Texas before he is pushed back. So it'll be 4th down for Oklahoma. We'll take a look at the play on which Lott was injured.
Watch now as he fakes to Kenny King, and then he'll come around and watch right here as Ricky Churchman catches him with the shoulder pads right in the stomach. Just the breath knocked out of him. He's going to be all right. I think we'll see him back in the game soon. Chris?
So after it looked like the Sooners were on the move, they're stalled out. They've got a punt by Schaven into the wind. A beautiful high kick. Bounces at the 5. It's going to be down. Let's see. Did they get it down or not? I don't think so.
No, they didn't. Touchback.
It is a touchback. Texas football, 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. 3 minutes, 16 seconds left to play in the first half. It is Oklahoma 3, Texas 3. Von Schaven against Erxleben so far in the first half, both in punting and in place kicking. I believe we're right in saying I don't think either team has more than 1 first down in a drive today.
Oklahoma might have on that last drive before they stalled out.
I think they did. They got 2 first downs in that last drive to stall.
3 minutes, 16 seconds left to play in the first half. Here come the Longhorns. Randy McEachern again, the third quarterback for Texas. McBath and Aune are in the Texas dressing room with injuries. Pass down for Jackson. Go to the 40. First down Texas. Up at the 42-yard line. He beat Zach Henderson. Number 19, Darrell Ray, number 3. Finally knocked him down a 23-yard pass completion, and that's the first pass completion of the day.
You know, Alfred broke his ribs against Oklahoma last year and was never really the same the rest of the year. But this year he's come back, he's caught the ball in traffic and taken a lot of hits, and he takes one here for a good catch.
First down, Texas. The Longhorns get out of the shadow of their goal post. They're now up to the 43-yard line. First and 10. Jackson Jones split up the top of the screen, out of the picture now. Hand off to Earl Campbell. Campbell on his feet at the 45, up to 50, out of the Oklahoma 46. First down, Texas. Earl Campbell gives Texas their second first down in a row. Zach Henderson made the tackle on big number 20, Earl Campbell. 12-yard gain on the play.
Steve, Earl Campbell is a very deceptive runner. You don't think that he's very, very fast. Looks like he just kind of lumbered along, but he really moves.
Johnny Lamb Jones is probably the only man who can outrun him on a 40-yard dash for the team.
Steve Hall, Johnny Lamb Jones, the receivers for Texas. First down, Texas at the Oklahoma 45 as the Horns have something going. Kitchen keeps it himself and is wrapped up as he gets to the Oklahoma 43-yard line by linebacker George Cumby, who, of course, was a fullback last year, Jerry, and has just excellent speed.
They changed him over during spring training last year from fullback. They had a lot of fullbacks and moved him over to linebacker, and Barry Switzer is really high on this young man. And of course, this is the story of the defensive team in Oklahoma. You had Barry Burgett, who was a running back, and then is now a defensive end. You've got Darrell Ray, who's a quarterback, and is now in the defensive backfield. 1:53 left, Chris. That's a factor.
3-3, all tied here. Texas, second down 8 at the Oklahoma 43-yard line. McEachern wants to throw again. Looks for Jackson. He's got it. First down at the Oklahoma 45-yard line. Right in the center of the field for Russell Ortslaven. You always have to think about it. 18-yard gain on the play. Here it is in replay, Steve.
McEachern is showing fine form as a passer under pressure. And, of course, Alfred has excellent hands and excellent speeds. Will be a pro draft pick this year.
So Texas using the throwing game of the Longhorns. They move down the field to the Oklahoma 25-yard line. They have a stop at
down his throat. The young man saw him coming. McEachern went ahead and threw the ball for the completion. And, of course, first down for Texas as they drive now 25 yards away from a touchdown and 1 minute and 41 seconds to go, Chris.
Here comes Randy McEachern, who's come off the bench. The third Texas quarterback leading the Horns on this drive. They have a slot to split to the bottom of the screen. Handoff goes to Jones and Sid. Johnny Ham Jones takes it inside the Oklahoma 25 at about the 23-yard line. Number 25, Johnny Ham Jones on the carry. Barry Burgett, 26, on the tackle. Johnny Lamb Jones comes back in the Texas huddle at flanker.
Evidently, Michael Ocken and Johnny Lamb are bringing in plays for Randy. I would imagine they play pretty basic right now.
Passing stats. 41 for Texas. It is indeed a new look Texas team. Here's Earl Campbell. That's the same look. 20, the 15, the 10. He'll score. Touchdown, Texas. Earl Campbell goes for the score. Steve Hall, the tight end, threw a fine block to the big man. He hurdled one, the Oklahoma player. And Texas has scored the first touchdown of this game. Look at the teammates around. Number 20, Earl Campbell, in his final game for Texas against Oklahoma. We'll see it again on replay. Steve?
You'll see the perfect balance of speed, power, and balance. He just never loses his balance, and that deceptive speed with Steve Hall, the only Oklahoman on the Texas squad, throwing a key block.
Ortslaven will be in to attempt the extra point. He's hit on 21 of 24 so far this season. Ortslaven picks it up. It's good. 1 minute and 5 seconds left to play in the first half. And the score now is the Cotton Bowl. The University of Texas 10, Oklahoma 3. We're enjoying this, especially on the Texas side. Of course, both bands are here. There are some of those wild Longhorn fans, Steve.
You know, this has to be a big boost for Randy McEachern and also for the entire Texas offense, because McEachern has now proven that he can guide the team 80 yards in 6 plays. So obviously, they'll have more confidence in McEachern in the second half.
Texas 10, Oklahoma 3, 1 minute, 5 seconds. Left to play in the first half. Deep for Oklahoma. Freddie Nixon on the far side. David Overstreet on the near side. And Russell Erxleben has it teed up at the 40 right in the middle of the field. High end of Redmond may get a run back. Overstreet, no, drops it. Goes out of the end zone. It'll be a touchback, and Oklahoma will take over 1st and 10 at its own 20-yard line, 80 yards away from the Texas goal. 1:05 to play in the first half. Texas leads at 10-3.
Chris or Jerry, I was wondering, do you think Oklahoma will play conservative now, or would they try to get into any kind of field goal range or try to mount a quick drive?
I don't think there's any doubt about the fact that they will get rid of the conservative football they've been playing in the first half. I think Oklahoma knows that right now they've got 1 minute and 5 seconds, and they can eat up most of that clock, and they're going to have to go into the dressing room either 7 points down, or they're going to go in time. And I think they're going to play some aggressive football, and Tommy Lott's a quarterback.
Lott back in, a quarterback, as you mentioned. Hand off to Kenny King, right up the middle, push back. Maybe 1 or 2 yard gain on the play. Texas, Steve McMichael, 99. Middle linebacker, Lance Taylor, number 32, combined for the tackle. So far in the first half, Oklahoma, 87 yards rushing to Texas, 59. But again, the new look Texas offense, the passing game, is what led them to that touchdown a moment ago.
And the clock continues to count down, and Texas, or Oklahoma, is not playing conservative, I don't guess.
Lott to Overstreet to the 30, on his feet to the 34-yard line. David Overstreet gets a first down for Oklahoma. He started in place of the injured Billy Sims, who we have not seen in the first half. Martinoni again makes the tackle for Texas, the weak side linebacker, number 42.
They started the clock again, and Oklahoma has not used up their last remaining timeout.
I think down at their own end, inside their own 40, they'll probably be happy to get into halftime dressing room, make some adjustments as Overstreet is tripped up as he takes the handoff. Elvis Peacock has not been any kind of factor in this first half. Less than 10 seconds to play. Steve McMichael again. 99 made the tackle. 4 seconds, 3, 2, and that is going to be the end of the first half. The end of the first half. Here's the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas. The 72nd renewal of the Sooners, the Longhorns. And at halftime, the score, Texas 10, Oklahoma 3. We'll be back with halftime activities in just a moment.
Texas quarterback.
Halftime score, Texas 10, Oklahoma 3. We'll be back with halftime activities in just a moment.
Texas quarterback, because Constanzo was hurt earlier in the year.
That's right. Ted Constanzo is out, I think, until maybe next month. Maybe they might try to get him back quicker now than they would have.
The first half basically started with a Von Schaumann 46-yard field goal, and then it was the big 64-yard field goal by Russell Erxleben, and Earl Campbell, a 24-yard touchdown run with 1:05 left in the second quarter, capping an 80-yard, 6-play Texas drive. Alfred Jackson, number 2 at the top of the screen. Johnny Lamb Jones, 26, the bottom of the screen, ready to receive the kickoff the second half. Again, remember, Oklahoma won the toss, chose the win, and kicked in the first half. Texas, of course, has a choice. They want the football, and they'll receive it as Von Schaumann kicks it off high, end over end, and out of the end zone. From the 20 again, they'll start 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line for Texas.
You know, they used to have a lot of home run contests between major power hitters in the big major leagues. Maybe one day during halftime we can have a field goal kicking contest between Erxleben and Von Schaumann.
Well, I don't care what side you're from, you can really just sit back and enjoy the skills and talents of a couple of young men like that. And they have been great factors in the first half. Here comes Randy McEachern, the quarterback for the University of Texas. Mark McBath, John Ani in the dressing room, of course, as Steve Ross told you, with injuries. And we're ready to start the second half. Here, split backs for Texas. Johnny Ham Jones, Earl Campbell from the 20, Texas. Hands to Earl Campbell on his feet at the 24, still fighting for the 26-yard line.
He is just so strong. I've been very rare to ever see one man bring him down. He was the leading ball carrier at halftime, by the way.
Darrell Hunt, 85. Bud Hebert, 33, made the tackle. Earl Campbell, 49 rushes, 374 yards coming into this game. He also has caught a pass for 15 yards. He scored 7 touchdowns. He scored 4 against Rice last week. And what, Steve, touched the football 13 times, I think.
He has 57 yards and 11 carries so far today.
He got 5 there. It is 2nd 5, Texas from its own 25-yard line. Hand off to Johnny Ham Jones, and Ham goes up to about the 28 or 9-yard line, just a yard shy of a first down for Texas. Tackles on the play. Richard Murray, 76. Football game, one of the tackles for OU. Also Richie Kinlaw, 62.
I'm just teasing with Earl. He's a fine young man, but I got to add another statistic. He's thrown an interception.
Steve Hall, tight end, has come into the football game for Texas. Alfred Jackson goes out. That means the only wide receiver will be flanker. Mike Lockett has gone down to the bottom of the screen. This is 3rd short yardage, Texas. Keeps it, makes the pitch, and caught for a loss back there is Jones. George Cumbie, 28. Made the tackle on Johnny Ham Jones, tapping him for a loss on the play. It was 3rd down and 1. And Texas loses 2 on the play. It's 4th and 3, and the Longhorns will have to punt.
Just an outstanding defensive play because Ham Jones is very, very quick off the ball, but Cumbie, a spectacular defensive play.
Here's a good shot of Freddie Nixon, number 11, the Oklahoma deep back. Russell Erxleben to kick. He'll be kicking into a wind. Not that that makes any difference. High spiral. Nixon gives ground, takes it at the 23, slips, gets up 25, 30, to the 32 and down there. Good coverage by Texas. Rudy Izzard from San Angelo, Texas, made the stop, junior. Number 14, and Oklahoma will take it 1st and 10 at its own 33 in Drury Park. What adjustment do you think the Sooners might have made to open that offense up?
Well, you know, it kind of surprised me when they took the wind in the 3rd quarter rather than waiting for the 4th quarter. And of course, knowing that Texas will have the wind and that particular advantage in the 4th quarter, I think the advantage that they have, I think maybe you'll see Thomas Lott throw the ball 4 or 5 more times than he did in the first half.
Lott shaken up in the first half, ready to go again now. Hand off, David Overstreet gets a yard or 2. That's about it off the left side. Defensively, Steve McMichael. Boy, how many times have we said his name in the first half?
By the way, that punt by Russell Erxleben, the wind didn't bother him, 50 yards.
I think you're going to see a little bit more of Elvis Peacock in this half also. They've been kind of laying off on him and going to David Overstreet, one halfback, into Kenny King, the fullback. I think that perhaps Elvis Peacock, who may have lulled him into a false sense of security. 4 carries for 8 yards only today. Chris?
Thomas Lott, this is 2nd and 8, Oklahoma. Lott wants to throw wide open. Bobby Kimball has it, falls down at the 43 and very close to an Oklahoma first down, and Kimball was by himself out there.
Derek Hatchett, the defensive back, slipped down right before the throw.
Kimball, of course, a junior college transfer from California, was an outstanding receiver in junior college. I think led the nation, in fact. And you have to wonder, why would the outstanding pass receiver in junior college football want to come to the University of Oklahoma? I guess, you know, it's just a great program. They'll bring him from anywhere.
Well, of course, there's one thing about it. They say 2 things about the Oklahoma huddle. They know it's going to be a pass when the wide receivers come out of the huddle with a grin on their face. And the second thing is, when you catch one, everybody knows about it. First down, Oklahoma, from their own 43-yard line. Chris, I told you I thought they'd throw a little bit more.
Yeah, and they have.
Then again, you know, talk about a leading pass receiver, Billy Brooks from Oklahoma, of course, having a great pro career.
Right, Tinker Owens, of course.
Owens.
Just great athletes at both these schools. Texas 10, Oklahoma 3, 12:15 left, 3rd quarter. Sooners send Kenny King in motion up the top of the screen. Lott keeps it, makes the pitch to Overstreet, and Overstreet, good defensive play as he crosses the 40 mile up to the 46 or 7-yard line. And as the Texas Longhorn down on the field and maybe knocked out. Johnny Johnson is still laying on the field. Here's a replay of it, Steve.
Here's Thomas Lott coming out, and if Johnson is knocked out, it could be a big blow to that Texas defense. That is Johnson, though.
It looked like maybe he caught one of Overstreet's knees in the head.
Down he goes. He is still down on the field. We have a break in the action. Time out on the field here with a score. Texas 10, Oklahoma 3.
Some folks call the armadillo ugly, but
it was Johnny Johnson, but it looks like he's like Thomas Lott, just had his bell rung. He should be back in a couple of plays. Rudy Izzard, a junior from San Angelo, will take his place for right now.
Oklahoma with the football, 2nd down and 8. Football at their own 46-yard line. 11:56 to play, third quarter. It is Texas leading 10-3. Thomas Lott, Oklahoma quarterback. As to Kenny King. King on his feet across midfield to Texas territory at the 48-yard line. Ricky Churchman, strong safety, number 8. Rudy Izzard, 14, free safety. Make the tackle for Texas. It'll be third down, short yardage for Oklahoma. Football at the Texas 48. Sooners will need about 1.
Mickey Ray Anderson has checked into the football game, replacing Kenny King at fullback.
Anderson, number 43. King, 30, goes out. His shoulder been bothering him some. Steve Rhodes comes down the bottom of the screen for Oklahoma. Double tight end for the Sooners, though, as they have third and short yardage. Lott keeps for it, sneaks forward, and it's going to be very close. Needed to get the Texas 47-yard line, and the official. Lott's done piled. Take a look at it. Lance Taylor, Stephen McMichael on the stop.
Barry Switzer is very high, of course, on Thomas Lott, not only with all the abilities that he has, but Thomas Lott weighs 205 pounds, and he says that's like having a fourth running back in there when you run the wishbone. And, of course, that's the key to the whole wishbone is the quarterback, and they really like the fact that Tommy can get the extra yardage, and he did on that one. He got the first down for Oklahoma. 11:13 left to go in the football game. Texas leads Oklahoma by a score of 10-3. And Chris, we've got an awful lot of football to play yet.
That we do. Johnny Johnson, the free safety for Texas, is back in the game now. He's all right. First and 10, Oklahoma at the Texas 46-yard line. Mickey Ray Anderson up the middle, gets 1 yard. That's about it. The whole side of the Texas defense, all those burnt orange jerseys, led by Steve McMichael, number 99, Brad Scher, 77, Lance Taylor, 32, on the stop. Well, I tell you, everybody asking the question before the game, Steve. I heard it down in Austin earlier this week. How good is Texas? I think right now the answer, maybe they are much better on defense than anybody thought.
Than anybody thought they were. They knew they were young and aggressive, but they didn't know how they would react playing a great offensive football team, which they're doing today.
And they've done a super job of it. Oklahoma, 2nd and 9, is yet to score a touchdown in this game. They trail 10-3. Mickey Ray Anderson in motion. Flag goes in the air. Lott keeps it, cuts up inside of the 41. But again, a flag was thrown as Oklahoma went in motion on the play. Brad Scher, 77. Ricky Churchman, number 8, on the stop. A legal procedure against Oklahoma. And I guess it is as much of this game as anything else, how few penalties you have. It really is amazing, and all the emotion, but it is always a good, clean football game. Some statistics, Steve Ross.
Well, as for the Oklahoma side, David Overstreet, still the leading ball carrier. They've had 6 first downs, 4 penalties for 30 yards. That's not very many. Texas 1 for 5 yards.
10:21 to play, third quarter. The penalty marks it back to the midfield mark. It is 2nd down, 14. So the Sooners have it at the 50. For a first down, Oklahoma would have to get to the Texas 37-yard line. Lott, the quarterback, wants to throw. Has time. Throws for Bobby Kimball. He's got it. At the 37-yard line, still on his feet at the 35. First down, Oklahoma.
And there's a flag down, Chris.
I believe it might be face mask. I'm not sure.
Bobby Kimball made some kind of move there. He did not have the first down at the beginning. Made a good move to get away from it. Here's the replay of it, Jerry, as Lott throws to Bobby Kimball.
Bobby Kimball was right where he needed to be to make the first down, and he gets hit right here, but his knee does not touch the ground, and he gets up and continues on. And watch now, they'll push him all the way for about another 5 yards, and that'll get the first down for Oklahoma. As we said, the flag is down on the field, waiting for the signal from the official.
I believe it might be face masking. I believe Morgan Copeland, number 38 right here, is Kimball, no, 32 maybe. Lance Taylor, right, Taylor.
And they're going to call a personal foul. We'll take a look. I think the official ruled that he might have taken a swing at him here.
Let's see.
Just using that forearm, of course, take that shot, and they ruled a personal foul on the play.
Now that's going to be the deepest penetration so far of the football game for the Oklahoma Sooners. OU had 4 first downs in the first half. They've had 3 first downs in this drive, so the Sooners begin to roll. Kenny King is back in at fullback for the Sooners, Chris. They got the ball first down and 10 on the 18-yard line.
They did it, as Jerry Park mentioned, by opening things up and throwing the football. And Thomas Lott is surprised. He has looked good throwing the ball. Oklahoma, 1st and 10 at the Texas 18. Lott hands off the fullback nowhere. Maybe a yard, that's about it. Well, the Sooners have had trouble running inside on this tough Texas defense. Lance Taylor, 32, middle linebacker. The 4-3, a little different defense than you see most of the teams playing in the Big 8, Steve. And very interesting. They really make those linebackers play up like a 7-man front almost.
Really. Of course, under Mike Campbell and Darrell Royal, they ran the 4-3 for 20 years, and they just kept it.
They have done it well. Lott hands off Overstreet, but right there is 99, Steve McMichael. He had no chance at all. Boy, Steve McMichael is doing a heck of a job up front for Texas. And you know, all the publicity's been about Brad Shearer, a great football player himself.
Oklahoma has always had good success running a counterplay like that. And of course, that was Overstreet. Watch as he'll run the counter. And Steve McMichael, what a super young man, and what a great game he has played today.
Dwight Jefferson was also there. And I don't know if we've gotten any report on Tim Campbell at all. But
I have not. I don't know whether he's...
Well, they don't need him. Dwight Jefferson's doing a great job for Texas. This is 3rd down and 8. Big down for Oklahoma. Lott wants to throw for it. Looking. He's in trouble now. Got to run with it. Lott at the 15. That's a 10 and down there. Again, it is Dwight Jefferson, number 80, who made the tackle.
He's about 2 yards shy of the 1st down.
He was looking for Lee Hober, number 9, but Hober, this was tied up there. They want to go for it. You can see the Oklahoma players signaling, come on, let's go for it. It's 4th down and 2.
Von Shaman's coming on the field. Now he's going back.
Okay, let's see who's smarter, the players or the coaches. The players want to go for it. The coaches started to send Von Shaman out. Now they're going to go for it. Oklahoma gambling at the Texas 10. Keep in mind they need to reach the 8-yard line for a 1st down. Kenny King is in there at fullback. Peacock, Overstreet behind Thomas Lott. Now there's a whistle.
Too much time.
Kenny King upset about something, comes over to talk to the official. That'll make the decision a little different. Yes, sir. It's going to be now 4th down and 7, and here comes Von Shaman. Delay of the game against Oklahoma. So instead of 4th and 2 and the gamble of going for it, now it'll be 4th down 7. Von Shaman is in with his tee, and this will be about a 32-yard field goal attempt.
Chris, is it a possibility that Oklahoma was maybe trying to draw the young defensive line offside by...
There is a good possibility of that.
They did it to Ohio State, Steve. Down on the tee it goes. Von Shaman kicks it up. It's good. Oklahoma is on the board first in this 2nd half. But again, the Longhorns keep Oklahoma out of the end zone as far as the touchdown goes. The score now with 8 minutes and 2 seconds left to play in the 3rd quarter. It's Texas 10, Oklahoma 6. Von Shaman will kick off for Oklahoma after his 2nd field goal. Here's the scoring drive for Oklahoma, 57 yards in 12 plays. And they're going to run it out. Here comes Johnny Lamb Jones at the 10. Then for 15, and down he goes there. Boy, he just excites you catching football. He was at full speed when he caught it, Steve, about 2 yards deep in the end zone.
He sure surprised his running mate, Alfred Jackson. I think he was expecting him to down it, and I think Coach Akers was too.
So the Longhorns will start 1st and 10. Just short of their own 15-yard line. Mike Babb, quarterback, number 14, made the tackle for Oklahoma. Lamb Jones. .7:59 left in the 3rd quarter. Alfred Jackson. Lamb Jones come down to the near side. Kirshner, the quarterback, from the Texas 14. Hand off to Jones. Goes up to the 20-yard line. Good, strong running. Pickett. Campbell, the ball carrier. Darrell Hunt, number 85, made the tackle. Zach Henderson, 19 on the stop, is Earl Campbell. Gets about 5 yards. It is 2nd down and 5.
You know, Texas, when they run out of the eye, really don't run off tackle that much. One of the reasons Johnny Lamb Jones is a fine blocker, but he's not built like the fullback in the eye you'd like to see.
Mike Lockett is in now at a flanker. He's actually a slot. He's inside Jackson at the top of the screen. Kitchen, the quarterback, calls the signals. Hands off. Again, it is Campbell coming to the left side. He is hit. Down he goes. Barry Bergen, 26. The sophomore from Stroud made a big defensive play for Oklahoma. George Cumbie, 28. You see right there, also over on the play. It'll be third down, Texas.
That Oklahoma pursuit was awesome. There were 10 players within 3 yards of Campbell wearing white jerseys.
They're down, Texas about 4. They need to reach just across the 24 for the first down. Alfred Jackson, Lamb Jones go to the top of the screen. High backfield this time with Earl Campbell at the top of the eye for Texas. They need 4 on third down, so they give it to Campbell, and Campbell fights for it close to the first down and may have it near the 25-yard line.
That was just sheer second effort on Campbell's part.
Daryl Hunt.
Texas.
Daryl Hunt and Bruce Tatum each had a hand on him, and watch now. Daryl Hunt, number 85, he gets a hold of him, and Reggie Kinlaw finally comes in to make the stop, but he took 3 or 4 tacklers with him, Steve, just for, as you said, the sheer effort for the extra yardage to get the first down.
He's also lost his jersey, and they're trying to get him a new one, and an Oklahoma player's down.
Oklahoma player down on the field. We'll check a number for you and tell you about that as Earl Campbell comes over and gets a jersey changed very quickly. Ken Rollinson, University of Oklahoma trainer, out on the field, and we really can't tell you just right now who the player is. Jerry Park's got the glasses, and we'll let you know as soon as we know. 6:33 to play in the third quarter. Texas leads Oklahoma 10-6. The Sooners have been held to 2 field goals.
That was a Texas 9th third down situation, and they've converted and made first downs on 3 of them.
Again, for you baseball fans, final American League Championship. The New York Yankees beat the Kansas City Royals when they had to, 6-4, tying it at 2-2. It looks like
Bud Hebert.
Bud Hebert. Bud Hebert, starting right cornerback, 6 foot, 182-pound junior out of Beaumont, Texas.
He seemed to be favoring his left leg. I think he also got his bell rung.
He's being helped out. Darrell Ray, fine sophomore from Killeen, Texas, will replace him.
And he was a quarterback, one of the tops in the state.
And if you would like to see just how good a punter Von Schaumann is, Darrell Ray was one of the finest high school punters I ever saw. And he's not punting for Oklahoma.
He had been doing some punting early in the season, and then Von Schaumann took that over as well. So Texas, on the big run by Earl Campbell, has a 1st and 10 at its own 25-yard line. High backfield for the Horns. Kitchen wants to throw for it. Overthrown, intended for Alfred Jackson at the 42. The Texas fans roar for interference as Zach Henderson, 19, was behind him. Terry Peters, 16, in front of him, and Alfred Jackson looking around for a flag.
I don't really think he should be looking around for one. He was extremely well covered. There were 3 Oklahoma players, but he just fell down stretching for the ball.
That'll be 2nd down 10 for Texas now, again at this 25-yard line. Lockett comes out at flanker. That brings the Olympic gold medal winner, Johnny Lamb Jones, in. Jones goes to the top of the screen. Alfred Jackson comes to the bottom of the screen. Texas opens it up from the veer. They need to reach the 35 for the first down. Kitchen looks for Jones, has him out of bounds at about the 37 or 8-yard line. First down, Texas.
Again, you can see the kind of respect Oklahoma has for Johnny Lamb's speed because they're playing off of him 3 or 4 yards. Another good pass by McEachern. Wide, low, look at that. 5 yards. Darrell Ray slows him down and forces him out of bounds.
12-yard gain on the play. First down, Texas. That's the first catch by that young man, Johnny Lamb Jones, in the football game, and he is some kind of excitement.
You give him just a half a step, and he'll take a mile and a half away from you.
Mike Lockett is in to replace Jones. He comes to the bottom of the screen along with Alfred Jackson. Texas at its own 38 with another first down. Earl Campbell straightened up by George Cumbie, fighting for him and pulls him down finally. George Cumbie, 28. Met Earl Campbell right there at the corner. 203-pound Cumbie, 223-pound Earl Campbell.
You know you got a football player when you can stand up Earl Campbell by yourself out in the open.
I'd still say, may I help you up, sir, after that, because he'll come back at you.
Have you noticed Texas has not had good success on first down? And then they, normally 2nd down and 10, 2nd down 11 as it is now. And then Texas picks it up on 2nd, 3rd down.
Campbell loses one. Flanker to the right, split to left side for Texas. Ketchum with the football, tripped up, down he goes. Right around the line of scrimmage. Bruce Tate, number 5, defensive end. George Cumbie, 28. Darrell Hunt, 85, the linebackers. Combined on the tackle for Oklahoma. No gain on the play. Now it is 3rd down, 11, Texas.
About 30 yards downfield, Alfred Jackson and Tony Peters were doing a tango with each other.
Alfred Jackson, number 2, coming into the picture there, rejoining the huddle. Also coming in, Mike Lockett, 47, as Johnny Lamb Jones, the flanker, goes out. That's a pretty good message system when you have a gold medal sprint stock for a messenger. You're not going to get too many delays in the game that way. Jackson, Lockett, goes split, slot to the top of the screen, out of the picture now. This is 3rd 11. Texas needs their own 48 for the first down. Big rush is on, and down goes McCutcheon inside his 30-yard line. The blitz was on for Oklahoma. Coming through is Barry Burkett, the defensive end. Also George Cumbie, the linebacker.
-7 yards, and they just sent everybody in.
Now that was perhaps one of the biggest plays so far of the second half. They started off with a 2nd and 10 after putting together two first downs. George Cumbie comes in, and I think that more than anything, it was just the quarterback slipping down.
Eric Slavin, the kick for Texas. Into the wind. Fair catch called for by Oklahoma. Taken at the 32-yard line by Zach Henderson. 3:59 to play in the 3rd quarter. It'll be Oklahoma's football, 1st and 10 at the Sooner 32-yard line. And we come back, there's a timeout on the field. The score, Texas 10, Oklahoma 6.
Coors, brewed with pure Rocky Mountain spring water. Coors contains only natural ingredients.
The state flag of Texas high above the Cotton Bowl shows you the wind factor. Oklahoma's advantage now as the Sooners have it 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. Thomas Lott hands to his fullback, short yardage on the play. Checking David Overstreet on the carry. Takes it up across the 35-yard line. Let's take a look at the statistics so far in the game, Steve Ross.
Well, offensively, Oklahoma has an edge. They have 125 yards rushing and 25 passing. Texas 69 yards rushing. I guess Earl's got about 60 of that. And passing 53 for 122.
So you got to credit the Oklahoma defense. Texas came in as the number 1 rushing offensive team in the country. And again, Oklahoma jumps off on the right side. Lott keeps it at the 40, at the 45. Midfield, 45-yard line, but it's all going to come back. It'll all come back. Looks like Sam Claflin, the big right tackle again, jumped too soon. It'll be a legal procedure against the Sooners and will cost them not only the 5 yards of the penalty, but a big gain by Thomas Lott. Texas came into this football game number 1 in scoring, 61.3-yard average. Number 1 in rushing offense, 392.3 yards a game. Number 2 in the nation in total offense, 528 yards a game. And so far, as I mentioned in the first, through the almost 3 quarters of play, Texas with a total offense of 100 yards. So the Oklahoma defense has been great too. Both these teams have played super defense. 2nd 11, Oklahoma. Lott wants to throw, looks down the sideline for Steve Rhodes and overthrows him at the 25-yard line. Incomplete.
He was also very well covered by Derek Hatchett, number 3. Now, to show you the kind of offensive receivers Texas has, Hatchett was a wide receiver this year. But there's Thomas Lott, but with Alfred Jackson and Johnny Lamb Jones and Mike Lockett, they moved Hatchett over to defense.
Somebody said, gosh, it looks like Thomas Lott may have looks like he has a scarf. He does. He wears a headscarf. One of his symbols. He wears it whether he has his helmet on or not. It's one of the Thomas Lott trademarks, and I think after the first time he played well, every youngster in Oklahoma all of a sudden had a headscarf to play football with.
They certainly did, Chris.
3rd down 11, Oklahoma. They need their own 42 for the first down as Kenny King, the fullback, goes in motion. Lott runs the option, pitches to Overstreet, 35, out of bounds, 38, short of the first down, and Oklahoma will have to punt. Derek Hatchett again made a fine play, the left cornerback, to drive him out of bounds. So it's going to be 4th down for Oklahoma. And the punting team of Uwe von Schamann comes on the field. 3 minutes, 9 seconds to play, 3rd quarter. Texas 10, Oklahoma 6.
Nobody can complain that von Schamann or Erchleben don't earn their scholarships.
Well, they have today. Von Schaman, there you see him back. Gets a good snap, no Texas pressure. Oh, beauty, look at this punt. High, end over end. Bounces at the 5. Lee Homer comes back on it. Oklahoma kills it inside the 2-yard line of Texas. Unbelievable punt by Von Schaman, 59 yards. What a punt he made. Counting it for Oklahoma. Goodman was down there to down the punt. Texas will have it at their own 2-yard line.
That not only was one of the longest, it was one of the highest punts.
Good look at the Oklahoma defense. Reggie Kinlaw, 62. Daryl Hunt, 85. Barry Burger, 26. Phil Tabor, 74. 62, Reggie Kinlaw, the young man who, as Jerry Park told you earlier, they said, you're through with football. You've got to have knee surgery. He said, no, I'm not. I'm going to play. He did against Ohio State, against Kansas, and has played great against Texas. Texas. Their backfield, their own end zone. Kirchen just gets out of that end zone and just to the line of scrimmage at the 2. It looked like a mix-up there. Richard Murray came down the line to make the stop.
You know, Texas would desperately like to pick up at least one first down and run out that clock so they wouldn't have to punt into the wind.
Boy, he almost got caught in that end zone, Steve Ross.
Oh, he's there. Oh, boy. He almost went down himself before.
62, Reggie Kinlaw returning about on top. Richard Murray, 76, around his ankles. Those are 2 nose guards that Oklahoma is using on the defensive front. Texas again at the 2. McCutcheon straight ahead this time. No fancy stuff. Gets out maybe to the 3 or 4. 2:19 left to play. And remember, if Texas has to punt from its own end zone, it'll be against a pretty good win. Of course, they also have Russell Ertzleben, so that may offset that.
Nothing fancy right now. They've got 2 tight ends in, and I think Texas was going to take a timeout.
A little confusion of the Texas offense there, and they want to make doubly sure when you're back here 3rd and 8. Coming over to the sidelines again, the quarterback, Randy McEachern. I think, boy, you can't say enough for someone like him, and you've got a quarterback of your own from Texas here spotting for us today, Steve.
Mike Cordaro is up here, and I imagine maybe Fred wishes he was down there in uniform right now.
What a job Randy has done, though. The pressure that young man had to come in under, and he led him right down the field on Oklahoma, one of the finest defensive teams in college football, an 80-yard march to score the only touchdown of this game, and he has really shown some poise.
You know, this is the game, of course, he's been waiting for 5 years. He's been a redshirt. He's been hurt almost his entire career here. And no matter what happens today, the coaches will be able to say when they go against Arkansas, Houston, Tech, and A&M, Randy took us 80 yards against one of the best football teams in the country. We have confidence in him. He can win for us.
Texas and the home burnt orange, the famous longhorn on the side of the helmet. Oklahoma in their road whites, red helmet with a big white OU on the side.
Well, this is a big down.
Oh, it is indeed. This is 3rd down 8. Texas, of course, love to get out of that bad field position. They need the 12 for a first down, keep in mind. Randy McCutcheon calls the signals. Hands off, and he is not going to make it. It is short at the 7-yard line. Texas will have to punt from its own end zone.
Into the wind.
This could be a big play. Darrell Ray, number 3 in the tackle. You see the Texas Longhorn offense coming off the field. 25, Johnny Ham-Jones, 20-year-old Campbell going right by there. 1 minute, 42 seconds left to play in the 3rd quarter. Oklahoma will be going against the wind in the 4th quarter. Texas will have the advantage of the wind in the final 15 minutes. Russ Ertzleben would like to have it now. Out of his own end zone. No rush by the Sooners. Ertzleben.
Not a good kick at all.
Not at all. Bounces 35, and it takes a Texas roll at the 40. Picked up at the 48-yard line. But he nicks him down back to the 49. Almost a football, but I believe they rolled it there. It is there. At the Oklahoma 48-yard line, he ruled him down there. Russell Ertzleben did not have one of his best punts, but it worked out very well for Texas.
It was a lucky. It was not a good punt, but a lucky punt. As here it takes a very good Texas roll, and Freddie Nixon picks it up. And that's Steve Hall dropping him, and he is on the ground. 40-yard punt and minus 4 yards return. It's the kind they needed against the wind.
Yeah, but there was exactly half this crowd that had a few thrilling moments there just for a couple seconds, right?
Texas fans thought they had the football. Oklahoma at its own 48, 1st and 10. Kenny King, the fullback, in motion to the top of the screen. Thomas Lott options around the corner. Makes the pitch to Overstreet. Infield and is knocked down there, and a flag goes flying.
The flag was thrown away from the play.
And the way the Texas fans are cheering, it has to be against Oklahoma. Holding against the Sooners. That'll cost Oklahoma 15, and the Sooners have hurt themselves with penalties here in this second half, Jerry.
They certainly have. They've had problems with penalties, but one thing that we have not seen is the fumble problems that Oklahoma had early in the season.
March back 15 yards. Tell you something about this Texas defense. Boy, they've been awesome too, Steve.
First, a scoring defense, 5 points a game. But nobody really knew how good they were until today, because they hadn't faced a Thomas Lott or anybody else. And 38 yards per game rushing, and Rice inflated the passing up last week, 155 yards per game. But still, this is an outstanding offensive team they're playing today, and they're holding their own.
Oklahoma first and 24. Elvis Peacock, his first carry of the second half, and he is thrown back. Gets a couple yards. That's it. Steve McMichael, 99. Headed right there. Also, Lance Taylor, 32. Take a look at this play again.
Elvis Peacock goes just right up the middle, and look at the whole host of orange jersey Texas Longhorns led by Lance Taylor say, sorry about that, Mr. Peacock. We think you better stay down this end of the field for a while.
Taylor, sophomore from El Paso, Texas. This is second 21 Oklahoma. The ball on their own 38-yard line, and Thomas Lott is back to throw. Goes down for Rhodes. It is over his head, incomplete at the 35-yard line. Good pass defense by Texas. Ben Blackman was over there, 37. Derek Hackett, number 3, incomplete. It's third down, long yardage for Oklahoma.
Kenny King was wide open over on the opposite side of the field. They weren't really paying a whole lot of attention to it. You'll notice that he went in motion just before the play started.
Oklahoma brings in a whole new set of fresh receivers. Lee Homer, number 9, comes in. Bobby Kimball, 21, comes in. Oklahoma opens it up this time with a split the flanker, no wishbone. Third and 21. Lott throws way over the head of Bobby Kimball. He was up at the 35. Lott throwing down at the 20. Incomplete pass, and it'll be a punt time for Oklahoma again. 4th and 21, and the Texas fans cheer their defense.
He was definitely open. The Texas defense looked confused by that formation and just how many people were coming out.
And what, 3 wide receivers and Victor Hicks, the tight end?
They must have thought they were playing Rice all of a sudden.
Von Schamann will punt. The rush is on, and he has it blocked. A flag goes down. Von Schamann is down on the field. Texas feels that if they're 48, Von Schamann is down, and they've got roughing the kicker. He must not have deflected the ball at all then. I guess straight up in the air, but the official ruled right away that it was roughing the kicker.
I don't think the kick was blocked, Chris. I think he just got it off the side of his foot. I could very easily be mistaken on that one.
It went straight up in the air. It looked like it was blocked the way the ball acted as it went off his foot, but of course, roughing the kicker call was made. They're talking it over right now. Barry Switzer out on the field to try to get an explanation, the official.
Maybe it was running into the kicker, the one where it's a lesser penalty.
Let's take a look here. It's the big one.
It's the big one.
Roughing the kicker. It takes it all the way to the Texas 47-yard line. It'll still be 4th down. Von Schamann is up. He's all right. And Oklahoma, they still have to punt it. Now the Sooners have stepped in and they want to call a timeout here to talk about this. 15 seconds left in the third quarter. Oklahoma has called a timeout.
Looks like they're going to try to kick a field goal, Chris. With a wind behind them, that'll bring it, let's see, it'll be 64 yards.
Well, why not?
Turnabout fair play. Is that what it is, Steve?
Yeah.
Von Schamann has the tee down on the Oklahoma side of the 50. About the 46.5-yard line, actually. And Von Schamann, you see him crouched down there, much as he was at Ohio State before that big field goal that won it for Oklahoma. He meditates, actually, before he kicks. He's into transcendental meditation and says it helps relax him.
That has to be the toughest kick I've ever seen anybody make for pressure. Last play of the game against Ohio State. I was amazed he survived the celebration. I thought Oklahoma was going to bury him there.
Okay, so Texas says, let's see if your guy can do what our guy does. Russell Earsleben has kicked a 64-yard field goal for the Horns. Here is
everybody
Ilva
is standing.
Chance. It's not going to do it. No good. Texas celebrating on the field some here as they're excited about it. Big Dwight Jefferson did a little dance out there as Von Schaubert cannot kick the 64-yard field goal. Texas will take over 1st and 10 at its own 20-yard line.
He had the distance, Chris. It was long enough, just a little bit off the side.
It is Texas 10, Oklahoma 6. We have just 9 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. There again, some of the sellout crowd here at the Cotton Bowl, 72,032 capacity for the 32nd consecutive year. They were selling tickets outside the Cotton Bowl for $100 apiece before kickoff, and people were glad to pay it. Texas, 1st and 10 from its 20. Hand off, big hole for Earl Campbell, breaks the tackle to 30. And Earl Campbell at the 40, down at the 44-yard line. Earl Campbell, almost 24 yards. Johnny Wayne Jones, the flanker, came back to throw good on Terry Peters, 16 makes the tackle. And even Terry Peters congratulated Earl Campbell. 25 yards, 1st down, Texas, with 2 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Earl Campbell has never gotten over 100 yards against Oklahoma.
We'll take a look at this, and there's Daryl Hunt going the wrong way, but quickly reversing himself. But he misses Earl. And it's hard to arm tackle Earl Campbell. And Johnny Lamb Jones out here just on the edge of your screen throws a nice block.
That is the end of the 3rd quarter. The score. 10-6 going into the final 15 minutes. 1st and 10. Horns at their own 45. Campbell has it and goes down right at the 45-yard line. Earl Campbell today 17 carries for 92 yards. He has not gone over the 100-yard mark. Against Oklahoma, the Soder Band strikes up Clover Soder in the background.
Look at those stats. Oklahoma quite a bit ahead in terms of total yardage with 141 yards rushing, only 59 for Texas. And yards passing 25 to 41. Turnovers are fairly even, and the punts 7 for 47, 8 for 42 for Texas.
2nd down, still 10, Texas at the 45. In motion goes Johnny Lamb Jones down to the bottom of the screen. I formation Longhorns. Campbell stiff arms one man, goes to the 45, full head of steam, barrels off to the 47 or 8. Tackle made by Barry Burkett, 26. Earl Campbell gets up a little slow there as he starts back to huddle. George Cumby, 28. Zach Henderson, 19, also in on the stop on Tyler Rose.
That's what an All-American back will do for you. That was a 4-yard loss for almost any other running back.
And he put a little move on an All-American linebacker. Daryl Hunt got into the backfield on the blitz, but Daryl just couldn't hold on. That was this a big down.
3rd down, 7 for Texas. The football at their 48. Keep in mind they need to reach the Oklahoma 45 for a 1st down. Jones to the top of the screen. Jackson to the bottom of the screen. Ketchum back to pass. Wants to throw for Jones. It is tipped up, and I believe it is no. It is not intercepted. Incomplete, the official rules. Terry Peters did not get the interception. The official right there said no interception. At the Oklahoma 40, we have a replay.
Let's see if we can judge. Keaton's pass is a little wobbly. Might have been touched at the line of scrimmage. Lockett tries for it. Tony Peters tries for it. And no, he dropped it right there on the bottom.
16, Terry Peters.
Let's see if they're going to try a field goal, Chris. This, I think, would break the record. If
this will be 70 yards.
Well, Wend is at his back. He puts it down at the Texas 41. That means it's 69-yard field goal. Angle slightly left to right. Everybody starts to stand. And Russell Earsleben was trying to make college football history again. High snap. Down it goes. Earsleben kick is going to be
not far.
Bounces to the goal line and in.
We've got an injured player down on the field. Holding his knee, Terry Peters.
Kind of hobbling there to see him starting off the field. Russell Earsleben helped him up after he tried to block his kick. Just short there.
know, it's really nice to see a game be as good as the build-up to it was.
And it just, you know, you can't say enough about the two defenses of these football teams. What a job they've done. Texas with less than 100 yards rushing. First and 10, Oklahoma at the 20 after the touchback. Thomas Lott, the quarterback. Hands to David Overstreet. We have not seen Billy Sims all day today. Overstreet is just 2 to 3 yards there. Lance Taylor, 32, middle linebacker, made the stop. It will be second down, Oklahoma. 8 yards to go at the 22. Less than 13 minutes to play here. Texas 10, Oklahoma 6. The only touchdown in this football game scored late in the first half by Earl Campbell. Good shot at Lott. Oklahoma quarterback. Wants to throw. Being chased. Runs out of the pocket. Gets away from the long one at the 25. Up to the 28-yard line. And he was very fortunate to get away from Brad Scher and others back there. Finally, Morgan Copeland, 38. Lance Taylor, 32. Along with Dwight Jefferson, 80. Made the stop. And Jerry Park, he had the scramble.
Watch Thomas Lott as he's almost hit here by a couple of Texas Longhorns, and the pocket collapses on him, so he cuts upfield and then cuts back to the left before he's tackled by number 32, Lance Taylor again, and on the stop.
Oklahoma has a third down and 3. They need the 30 for a first down. Wishbone behind Thomas Lott. Makes the fullback. Lott goes down. Stumbles right there at the 25, and Oklahoma will have to punt it on fourth down. Morgan Copeland, 38, Brad Scher, 77. We're in the backfield, and Lott really had no option chance. So it'll be a punting situation. Fourth down for Oklahoma with 5 yards to go, 11:45 to play in this football game. Von Schauman into kick for the Sooners. High kick into the wind. Fair catch called for, taken for Texas. At the 44-yard line. Caught there by Glenn Blackwood, 37. And we'll be back with the Texas drive in just a moment. 11:31 to play in the fourth quarter. There's the score. The Longhorns 10, the Sooners 6.
Accept a Bill Mundy challenge. Get the other dealer.
The Longhorns on. They have the lead, 10-6. They have it first and 10 at their own 44-yard line. In motion goes Johnny Lamb Jones to the bottom of the screen. Gets to the quarterback, hands to Campbell, met at the line of scrimmage, carries the Sooner across the 50 to Oklahoma territory at the 49. What a collision. There at the line of scrimmage, George Cumbie, 28. And Earl Campbell just ran through him there.
There's Jeff Batts. Made a fine block, number 71 on this. And I'll look at Campbell. Now watch Jeff Batts, there's a good block, and then Campbell makes some more on his own.
And George Cumbie fought right with him and finally held on for the tackle.
You know, Jeb is 270 pounds, and he's lost 35 pounds.
Second down 4 as Campbell gets 6, gets him close to the 100 mark. Johnny Ham Jones, short gain there, close to a Texas first down in Oklahoma territory at the 46-yard line. Reggie Kinlaw, 62. George Cumbie, 28 on the tackles. They want to call for a measurement here to check this out.
Earl is now over 100 yards. 19 carries for 101 yards. Jerry, how close are they?
That's just about the length of the football, Steve. But it's only third down.
About one step for Earl Campbell. Third down, Texas. Less than a yard to go. Football on the Oklahoma 46-yard line. Keep in mind, as Jerry pointed out earlier, this could be a very big factor in this game, Jerry. Texas will play the fourth quarter with that wind that is swirling sometimes up near 20 miles an hour at its back.
And we've got 10.5 minutes left in this football game, but Oklahoma trailing Texas 10-6. Of course, remember, it's the big play anytime for either one of these two schools.
Wonder who will get it. Third down, short yardage. Earl Campbell spins away, still on his feet. At the 40, at the 35, at the 34, Earl Campbell.
You sometimes wonder what you have to do to stop him.
Hit.
Good hit. That's a good
hit.
And just spin away, spin away.
Hit.
Look at that.
4, 5.
Well, he hit him solid, but he had to get help.
Then it took 4 of them to bring him down. My goodness gracious.
12-yard gain for Earl Campbell.
I believe that young man's fired up today.
20 carries, 113 yards for the senior from Texas. First down 10 at the Oklahoma 33-yard line for Texas. Jones gets just shoved back there. Don't send these little skinny guys in here against us, they say. 5'9", 180-pound Johnny Ham just got tossed back there. That must have been a relief for the Oklahoma defense.
He got caught in there between Daryl Hutt and Reggie Kinlaw. That's an awful lot for little Johnny to get caught in between.
Johnny Ham talking over the huddle. Don't call that one again.
Well, that was, you know, that was an easy one for the Oklahoma Sooners. They've been watching Earl Campbell come down his throat all afternoon. That was kind of like a breather for him, I guess.
Mike Lockett flanker at the bottom of the screen. Alfred Jackson top of the screen. Texas second down 10 at the Oklahoma 33-yard line. Head off again. It is Jones. Ham, of course, up the middle. Near the 30-yard line. It'll be third down. This will be a long yardage play for Texas now.
And he's hurt. He's hurt. It might be the hamstring again. He's had a problem with that for 2 years.
Johnny Ham Jones down on the field here at the Cotton Bowl. The football right at the 30-yard line. It'll be third down and 7 Texas as they're working over Johnny Lamb Jones from Hamlin, Texas.
You know, perhaps there are a lot of people who are watching telecast that and I want to get an explanation as to why one's called Ham and one's called Lamb, Chris.
Well, there's a timeout right now on the field. There's no, I guess not. We're going to try to get him off the field here, so we won't take a break here. I'm glad they call it, you know, both of them Johnny Jones. That's been tough on us play-by-play guys. They didn't make some distinction. Lamb and Ham. How'd they come up with that, Steve?
Well, Johnny Ham Jones is from Hamlin, and Johnny Lamb Jones from Lampasas. And Coach Royal came up with that because at the first start of fall practices, Johnny Jones get over here and 2 guys had run to him.
And run very fast.
Ham Jones, by the way, had 10 carries for 14 yards today.
Jones is on the bench. Jimmy Johnson, 29, and other speedsters in the backfield with Earl Campbell now. This is third and 7 Texas. They need the Oklahoma 23 for the first down. They throw for it. It is incomplete. A flag is down.
Flag is down.
They tried to hit the tight end, Gil Harris. He got held up in there. A flag went immediately up in the air as soon as the play started. And Texas is walking back, holding against the Longhorns. And yes, they'll take this one because this is Ertzleben territory here.
That's a very key penalty because that's almost a chip shot from there. But now we're getting back into the 15, 60-yard range.
We've been talking about the defenses and the offensive line. Watch them fight it here.
Let's see if we can spot it. There's Rick Ingram, probably Jeb Batts.
In fact, they're all holding.
Yeah. Take your pick.
You know, I tell those offensive linemen, they've got to do something. All these defensive guys coming full speed, throwing every which way. There's a good shot on the bench of Johnny Ham Jones, and they are working on that leg of his.
It seems to be the right ankle or the right foot.
Well, he is in some pain, though. You can see that.
He certainly is.
8:37 to go. After the penalty, it is third down, 22 Texas.
Maybe a little less than that.
They're still trying to get to the Oklahoma 23. Kitchen back to pass, sets up the screen, has it to Campbell, 45, 40, and down he goes at the 41-yard line. Earl Campbell on the screen, and made a nice reception out there, but Oklahoma came up quickly.
This is what the pros would like to see. They can now find out that Earl Campbell can indeed catch the ball. And, of course, knows what to do with it after he catches it. But a fine play by Reggie Mathis to stop it.
And Reggie Mathis, after that collision with Earl Campbell, is a little slow himself getting up, and he's going to be escorted off the field. That'll bring Cruz Tate, number 5, in at defensive end for Oklahoma. It is fourth down and 19 for Texas.
Looks like we're going to try a short field goal with only 58 yards.
The tee is on the Oklahoma 48 at the 10 of the end zone. 58-yard field goal attempt. Russell Ertzleben. There again is Johnny Ham
I am
Jones.
sure that's a lot of motion for him. He thought maybe he'd get through a whole year without getting hurt.
Ertzleben, 58-yard field goal
It's
attempt.
long enough.
It has the distance. It's good.
It's good.
58-yard field goal attempt. And there is a big field goal for Texas, because it means Oklahoma, with a touchdown and 1 point, would only tie them. Russell Ertzleben takes a 58-yard field goal. And the fourth quarter, 8 minutes and 2 seconds left to play in the game. It's now Texas 13, Oklahoma 6.
Burksley, the 58-yard field goal. 7 out of 9 this year. 4 of them over 50 yards.
Total today, 58 and 64. And Burksley picks it up and throw again off the kickoff tee.
You know, Russell was a quarterback in high school and an all-round athlete. He said a couple of years ago that he would really kind of like to get more contact as a Texas player. And Coach Royal said he gets all the contact he needs on the kicking.
It is really amazing. Conventional style kicker, what is about a half step and 2 full, right? Boy, he moves it. Here come the Sooners, and they've got to start moving. 8 minutes, 2 seconds left to play in the game. 80 yards from the Texas goal. Thomas Lott, first and 10 at the 20. Lott keeps it himself, goes only to the 22 and wrapped up there.
You know, it's about, again, they were down by 6 points last year. And last year it was a very critical extra point that made the difference in the football game. So it's going to be interesting if Oklahoma can score now to see what their strategy will be.
Bobby Kimball, split in, comes down to the bottom of the screen. Thomas Lott, Oklahoma wishbone behind him. Goes to Elvis Peacock. He's going to throw back to Thomas Lott. He's got it at the 20, at the 25. Lott at the 30. First down at the 32. And razzle-dazzle for Oklahoma. First down.
And if you look back at the history of Oklahoma, it was a little bit of razzle-dazzle against Nebraska last year. It was a pass play, Dean Blevins, and then a lateral. It was Steve Rhodes to Elvis Peacock that won the football game. So Oklahoma could use the razzle-dazzle to perfection. That was just one of the... When was the last time you saw a quarterback get a pass, huh?
An 11-yard pass play. First and 10, Oklahoma at their own 32. 7:14 to play in the game. Peak going to throw, and it is complete to Steve Rhodes and Thomas Lott. Hits Rhodes up around the 42. This does not look like an Oklahoma-Texas game all of a sudden, does it? Passing for Thomas Lott.
Tommy fades back. He's got plenty of protection, plenty of time. He spots Steve Rhodes. Steve was in the clear and gets it just at the marker that's good enough for another Oklahoma first down. The Sooners begin to roll. 7:05 left on the clock press. And I'll tell you what, we got a lot of football left here.
Just under the 7-minute mark right now. First and 10, Oklahoma. Lott keeps, makes the pitch to Overstreet. 40, 45, midfield, 45, out of bounds at the Texas 43-yard line. Run out of bounds by Johnny Johnson, the free safety, number 27. 15-yard gain on the play for David Overstreet.
Now watch what Oklahoma's doing at this point. They are mixing up the plays a lot more than they have in the first part of the football game. Let's take a look at that play one more time. Watch as Thomas Lott will fake to the first man through. The pitch out just at the exact moment that he got hit. David Overstreet takes it down the sidelines before he's knocked out of bounds. Chris?
Back to live action now. First and 10 play. Lott makes the pitch. This time it's Peacock. Peacock stumbles as he goes down near the Texas 41-yard line. He got tangled up over there as blocker David Overstreet, along with Glenn Blackwood, the right cornerback for Texas. Short gain on the play. Boy, both bands are booming out fight songs now every second here.
Again, I'm amazed at Thomas Lott's precision at that pitch.
Good shot of the Texas sideline. And Suttles down there on the sideline camera. John Heatley, Clint Ball up here upstairs, following the action play in this delayed telecast by KTUL TV. Back it goes. Thomas Lott wants to throw for Oklahoma. Down and Steve Rhodes falls. Oh, a flag goes down. A flag goes down at the 25-yard line. Interference is called against Texas. Derek Hatchett, number 3. And he's having a tough time believing it. The official was right there, and he must have seen some contact just as the ball was released.
I think it was a trip. I think...
Pass interference against Texas. Oklahoma gets a big break there. It is first down Sooners at the Texas 28-yard line.
And again, just like Ohio State and Vanderbilt, Oklahoma doing what they have to do in the final quarter.
Oklahoma has been inside the Texas 20, I believe, only once in this second half. Lott, they break the wishbone, split slot to the top of the screen. And Kenny King has a big hole at the 20. Kenny King to the 15, inside, first down, Oklahoma at the Texas 13. Kenny King, 14 yards, and here it is, the fullback play off the wishbone.
Kenny King right up the middle, and this is the biggest gainer of the day for Kenny King. Now watch, he almost bumps into Overstreet there, then cuts to his right. This is what makes Kenny King such a super valuable back. He can go straight ahead, he can cut, he can go any way you want him to.
Here come the Sooners. Wishbone for Thomas Lott at the Texas 14. Lott keeps it himself, cuts up inside, goes to the Texas 10.
I'll tell you what, guys, next year, let's just play the fourth quarter. We'll worry about the other three.
It always seems to come down to this, doesn't it?
It really does.
The 72nd meeting, Oklahoma, Texas. 2nd and 5. Oklahoma, ball on the 10. Man in motion. Pitch to Elvis Peacock. At the 10, Peacock stumbles down to about the 6.
I believe it was the year before last when Horace Ivory made that, I think, a 37-yard run for a touchdown and won the game for the University of Oklahoma.
Lance Taylor 32, Johnny Johnson 27 on the stop for Texas. And now it is 3rd down and 2, Oklahoma. At the Texas 6-yard line.
And of course, Steve, against Texas, this is a tough 2.
The Sooners need to get to the 4. Thomas Lott says he can't hear, steps away.
I can't imagine why he can't hear.
Thomas Lott talks to the official. Ready to go now. 3rd down, 2, Oklahoma. Lott keeps it himself. Makes the pitch to Peacock. Peacock at the 5. Rolled out of bounds near the 4-yard line.
He's going to be close, Chris.
That was almost a forward pass. It was a pitch.
Yeah, you're right. Let's take a look at it one more time. Tommy Lott, and I think he thought that Elvis Peacock was a little bit behind him, and he pitches to him. I believe it was a forward pass. But that's going to be a legal forward pass.
Yeah, Barry Switzer says they need a new statistic at Oklahoma. Pitch outs attempted, pitch outs completed. It is 4th down. They say he is just shy of the 1st down is where they marked it. It is just inside the 5,
If the nose of the ball touches the 4, it is a 1st down.
4th down. Lott keeps it, cuts up inside, and I don't know. Texas says they've held him. He was hit right there at the 4.
Where they're marking it, he did not make it. That's the defensive play of the game right there.
Texas has held Oklahoma. On 4th down, Johnny Johnson, 27, the free safety. There's the guy in there who made the hit. There's a Longhorn down as we watch this big 4th down play. Thomas Lott, number 6.
Here comes Johnny Johnson. He makes the tackle, stands him up. He's also hurt.
Texas has held Oklahoma. We'll pause here with 4 minutes and 3 seconds left to play. Texas 13, Oklahoma 6. The game made by Texas free safety, number 27, Johnny Johnson, sophomore from LaGrange, Texas. He was the injured player, is back up and went off the field in his own power, and Texas has it 1st and 10 at the 5, and Oklahoma will be going for the football with 4:03 left to play. Caught by the line of scrimmage, Randy McCutcheon goes down. George Cumby wraps him up at the 3-yard line.
I would have thought maybe the strategy would be give it to Earl 3 times and then let Russell kick it out.
3:49 to play. Both teams have 2 1st downs, 2 timeouts, I should say, left in this football game. 3:39. Oklahoma trails Texas 13-6. Dave Hall, tight end, comes in. Alfred Jackson comes out. Johnny Lamb Jones, flanker, comes to the bottom of the screen. Texas 2nd and 12. Backed up at its own 3-yard line. And to Campbell, down he goes at about the 5-yard line, and that may be the strategy now. Let him run off some time off the clock, and Rick Saban come in and kick a long one for him. Dave Hudgens, number 70, makes the tackle for Oklahoma. There's a look at the Longhorn offense.
Down now, 3 minutes to play, Chris.
Mike Lockett comes in as Jones comes out. There's 47. Lockett, sophomore from Fort Worth, Texas, in the game for the Longhorns. 2 minutes, 50 seconds to play. This is 3rd down, 9, Texas. The ball at their own 6-yard line. Lockett, flanker, down the bottom of the screen. Campbell, hit, dropped at the 6-yard line, and Texas will punt to Oklahoma on 4th down and 9 with less than 2.5 minutes to play in the game. Earl Campbell
I don't know whether he's just tired. Yeah, he's just tired.
Oh, he's got to be tired. 22 carries, 117 yards, won a 24-yard touchdown that has been the only touchdown of this football game.
He's having a little trouble with his right leg. He's limping
a little bit. He always looks like he's limping, though.
Well, he had some trouble with the hamstring last year, and the trainer, Frank Medina, is looking him over now. I don't know whether it's serious or not.
Freddie Nixon, number 11, Oklahoma. Of course, hoping for a big punt return here. There's 2 minutes, 30 seconds left to play in this football game in Dallas. Texas, underdogs by 4, maybe 5 points. Leading second ranked and unbeaten Oklahoma, 13-6. Eric Saban in his own end zone. Let's see if the Sooners go after him. Well, they're setting up the return. Eric Saban gets the kick away, and what a beauty. Oh, it's close. Nixon catches it over his shoulder to 25, goes back inside the 20, up to 25, 30. Then it's stuck at the 34, down he goes. What a hit. Bruce Schultz, reserve linebacker out of Austin, Texas, a freshman. Came down the field to make that hit, 74 yards on the kick. Russell Eric Saban.
Watch this. Bruce Schultz from Austin Crockett is a linebacker. A linebacker, mind you, and he's 6'6". What a hit.
Oh. So Oklahoma has it 1st and 10. Sooners at its own 34-yard line. They say they never think they lost the game. They always know there's time for them. And let's see what they do. Lott makes the pitch to Peacock. Tries to turn the corner. Stiff arms him at it to 35, out of bounds at the 40.
Oklahoma's going to work the sidelines with the pitch outs and the passes and so forth to try to conserve what little time there is left on the clock. 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Oklahoma's down by 7 points, 13-6 to Texas. You know, Steve, we were talking at the top of the football game, and we talked about the fact that Texas really didn't know how good they were. Texas did not play a team that was a very good team up until now. I'll tell you what, Texas has a good football team.
There's no doubt in my mind both of them deserve to be in the top 5.
Thomas Lott, Oklahoma, 2nd down, 5 at the 40-yard line. Lott back to throw, wide open as Bobby Kimball has it, drops it at the 48-yard line of Texas. He was wide open by himself and simply dropped the football. Incomplete pass. 2 minutes and 5 seconds left.
Thomas Lott back to pass, and he waves Steve Rhodes out just a little bit further. There he is, Steve Rhodes, number 24. Bless his heart, he just dropped.
Here's a big one, 3rd down, 5, Oklahoma now. They need to reach almost the 45 for a 1st down. Lott keeps it, loses the football. Scrambles back on it, back at the 34-yard line. And now it's 4th down for Oklahoma with a minute 56-55 clock counting left. The Sooners, I'm sure, are going to try for it. The clock is still moving. A minute 45 left to play. It'll be 4th down, Oklahoma, with about 11 yards to go. In comes Dean Blevins, out comes Thomas Lott. In comes Steve Rhodes. There's Barry Switzer. He has never lost to Texas.
The Longhorn fans are cheering, but I think they're cheering one down too soon.
This is 4th down. Dean Blevins in to throw for it. Needs 11. Scrambles out of the pocket. Dean's going to try to run for it, and he's not going to make it. Down at the 39-yard line, and Texas has held. 1:11 left to play. Lance Taylor 32, Steve McMichael 99, and the Longhorns can feel it now.
Look at it. There's 37,400 happy people right now and 37,400 sad ones.
From our vantage point atop the press box, we look right across the 50-yard line, and exactly half the people on our left are cheering and wearing orange, and exactly half the people on our right are not saying a thing. They're all sitting down very quiet, hoping that something is going to happen. We're down to a minute and 11 seconds.
Well, Oklahoma always feels that something will happen. It always seemed to have proved out for them. 1:11 left to play. Texas knows that too. Earl Campbell will be at the top of the eye. Jimmy Johnson, the back in front of him. There's the whistle. The flag goes in the air in the delay of the game against Texas. 1 minute, 11 seconds left to play here at the Cotton Bowl. It is Texas leading Oklahoma 13-6.
little too much celebration on that fourth down play, cost them some time and 5 yards. And of course, I'm sure Fred Akers thought if Oklahoma used timeouts, well, maybe Russell Erxleben could kick a field goal, but...
The Texas fans starting to cheer. We're number 1. They came into this game unbeaten, 3-0, ranked number 5 in the nation. Oklahoma 4-0, ranked number 2. Quarterback, Cutchin keeps it himself, goes to the 40, goes down near the 35-yard line. Sherwood Taylor, 31, strong safety, made the tackle.
Here's it out. Earl is leading in the blocking. He gets a good block here. Randy cuts upfield inside.
He was following Earl Campbell. Earl Campbell got him a good block down there.
And again, the fierce hitting is such that Texas has lost another player, David Studdard, one of the few seniors on offense. The right tackle is out, and Gary Sayre, a sophomore, is in his place, number 70.
53 seconds to play in the game. Texas 13, Oklahoma 6. The Longhorn fans, who have not won this football game since 1970, I had the chance to celebrate, are whooping it up right now. There's Coach Fred Akers talking to his quarterback. What do you think he's telling him?
Don't fumble.
Well, you notice on the last play, there wasn't a handoff. The quarterback kept the ball. I think that's the strategy now, instead of giving it to...
I'm sure to run wide and run out the clock as much as possible.
You're right.
Seconds. That's the play. Randy McKitchen for Texas. Second outside, he just falls on it now.
Oklahoma cannot stop the clock.
45 seconds, clock is running. This will be 3rd down for Texas. Texas number 1, you see in the stands there. What a great job by Fred Akers. For a new Texas coaching staff, young football team.
I have a feeling Mr. Akers is going to get it right across the field.
Down he goes again.
And I think there's someone else we have to remember. That's a young quarterback who came in after the 2 top quarterbacks were knocked out. Jim McEachin.
No player on this Oklahoma team that ever lost to Texas. No Texas player that ever won.
Earl Campbell on the 50-yard line is really enjoying this. There it is.
Has beaten Oklahoma, upsetting the Sooners 13-6. Oklahoma's first loss of 1977. And Fred Akers and Barry Switzer, the two who played together at Arkansas, coached against each other on different occasions. Fred Akers has beaten Barry Switzer. It is Texas 13, Oklahoma 6. We'll be back to wrap it up here at the Cotton Bowl right after these messages.
Want to really save on that paneling job? Well, now is the time at Handy Dan.
Since 1970 has beaten Oklahoma. Texas 13, Oklahoma 6. And there you see the Oklahoma people. And for the Sooner fans, a long trip back across the Red River. But I tell you, I know they have to be thinking about this one and the many missed opportunities. There, of course, the 2 governors of the states, Governor David Bourne on the right, Governor Briscoe, of course, in the middle there, ready to exchange the trophy, the gold hat trophy, symbolic of this great rivalry in college football. Governor Bourne looks kind of glum there.
Well, I can certainly sympathize with him and with the OU fans because it's a fantastic team. It played exceptionally well. There are the final statistics. Oklahoma really had the statistics today, but field position and kicking was a big difference.
12 for Oklahoma in first downs, 9 for Texas. Darrell Wells just came in the booth. We'll try to get him over here in a second. Yards rushing, 193 yards for Oklahoma, 120 yards for Texas. In passing, 46 yards Oklahoma, 57 for Texas. There you can see total yards. Both these teams well off their statistics. Their earlier games, 239 total yards to 177. The turnovers, Texas 2 mistakes, but they were early. Oklahoma 1 fumble. And the punts, of course, you see 2 great punters, Russell Erxleben, along with Uwe Shaman, put on quite a display today. Texas beats Oklahoma 13-6, and there aren't many people in Texas happier about that Then Darrell Royal, athletic director. Congratulations, Coach.
Well, it was just a tremendous win, and as I told you at halftime, the job that Fred Akers has done with our football program has just been marvelous. The fantastic job that he and his coaching staff have done. It was a total team victory. Gee, I've never seen a game so fiercely fought. Of course, every game I've ever come to the Texas-Oklahoma game has been fiercely fought. It's a big thrill for us, and it gets our program back up where it once was. And I'm just tickled to death for Fred and all the football players and his entire coaching staff.
Well, I'm sure he'll take his hat off to you, Coach Royal. Those are Darrell Royal players down there, of
well,
course.
I tell you what, they're Fred Akers' coach.
Coach, what a job. The two quarterbacks down early and to come back and the pressure on that young man. What a game for him.
Well, Randy got a very severe knee injury last year, and I thought his football career was over. And this shows you what tenacity will do. It shows you what courage will do. He hung in there. I don't see how anybody could have possibly expected Randy McEachern to do any more than he did today. He handled the ball with confidence. He threw the ball expertly when he was called on to throw it. I'm tickled to death for Randy because it's been a long, hard road for him. I also would single out Dwight Jefferson. I thought Dwight was in this ball game totally as much as any player I've ever seen.
Coach Earl Campbell again.
Oh.
He's the finest athlete you've ever seen.
Earl's as good a football player as I've ever been around. I've said that before. And you get him back in that I formation that Coach Akers has him in, and let him get his head of steam, he is hard to bring down.
And both defenses proved that it's a game of emotion.
Well, defense, I thought it'd be a low-scoring ball game. A lot of folks thought it would be a high-scoring ball game. I really didn't. I didn't think either team would take the ball and run up and down the field. Both of us have outstanding defensive football teams. I think this is the finest defensive football team Texas has had in quite a few years.
Coach Royal, again, congratulations to the University of Texas, to Fred Akers down on the field. Governor Briscoe is just accepting the trophy from Governor David Bourne of Oklahoma. The Texas fans aren't leaving here. They are celebrating this great victory for the University of Texas. Once again, the final score was Texas 13, Oklahoma 6. This is Chris Lincoln for Jerry Parks and Steve Ross. Today's game of production of KTUL TV Sports.